Hello, we're here again. And it's good that you're all here. And welcome, Delboy. And thank you so much for coming on. I know you've had an operation, and I really appreciate you coming on. But I say, if there's any problems, you start feeling really tired, then please let us know, and we'll.
Uh,
Uh,
the operation went as good as possible. A little bit more complicated this time because the the artery was more damaged than the other one. So of course the stent they put in is much tighter, and that tightness is feeling like a golf ball. It feels like I'm going to have a heart attack. It's like having constant indigestion at the moment.
hmm.
But I've been told that's to be expected. They said that should go away as the stent embeds itself. So I'm trying not to think about it. It wasn't nice. I mean, that's the marks that were just from the morphine drip that they gave me. And God knows what this one's going to be like. This one is the bruise is going out. Look, and I can't even take this bandage off until tomorrow. And that's where they inserted the rods. So yeah, I've got a strain on my chest and bloody bruises all over my body. And because it was the left-hand side and they had to stretch over the top, he was sort of like resting on my chest as he was doing things. You know what I mean? It's almost like my whole chest was an ironing board. You know what I mean? That he was sort of like leaning over. So that's probably the other reason why it feels so tender a little bit. But no, I'm just tired. I'm catching up with sleep. I went to bed last night at 9:30, 9:45. I woke up at midnight. I woke up at 2:00. I woke up at 4:00. I woke up at 5:00 listening to the news on Trump and the presidency and all of that sort of stuff. And then I sort of like took my tablets, took my blood pressure readings, did a game recording, and then came here. Really, that's pretty much my day. I'm sort of resting, but caring for my mum at the same time, if you see what I mean. So, you know, my sister's been here this afternoon, wanted to know how I was.
Good, yeah.
You know, and I need to sort of like, what I really want to do is I want to exercise. You know what I mean? And but I don't know when I can. So I've filled in a form today to get the doctor to give me a call for Friday. As soon as he can, but no later than Friday, because I'd like to discuss with him tablets. Whether I can start diminishing them, whether he wants some blood pressure readings, what my expectation should be in regards to going for walks and that sort of stuff, even though I've got pains in my chest. I mean, it wouldn't be good, would it, that the pains in my chest actually were nothing to do with that stent and I keeled over? I need to sort of like know that, well, just take things easy, do a small walk or something like that. But it's that sort of thing. They're just things on my mind. That's all. Well, yeah. You haven't asked me what I watched.
I'm just going to ask you, what have you watched? Or you can say anything that's arrived.
It's what's been arrived, really, because you know me, I haven't really had chance to watch anything, really. I have watched some things. I mean, that's a lie, really. I have watched some stuff. I saw a digital copy of Convoy actually the other day. So in fact, actually, it was on Legend. Yeah, it was on Legend this week. So I watched that.
Oh.
I'd already seen this, but The Owners.
Oh, yeah.
That's that Sylvester McCoy horror film that I talked about.
You showed the trailer on your blog.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
This came through the Post Exorcist 3.
Yeah.
That was a cheapo, I think.
Yeah.
Dog Soldiers was cheap as well. That's why it's German. Look, you'll see the 16
Oh, yeah.
symbol look in the
Yeah.
corner.
Great film, that.
That's a steel book.
One of the best films I can
And a
think of
piece of
on
shit
werewolves.
called Borderlands, which I only
Oh,
bought because
God.
it was the HMV exclusive.
Oh, dear. Oh, well.
And then I think everybody's bought these, but that's the two Deadpool and Wolverine steel books.
Yeah. I've not seen the film.
The nicest one being
Yeah.
I think the Wolverine one. It's
Yeah.
really nice. You put the two together and you've got a picture. I mean, yeah, you have to do it like that. I think.
Yeah.
You can sort of see that there's a picture there, look, forming. Look.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought those because they're Marvel. You know what I mean? But
Of course.
but yeah, I mean that's quite a haul in itself.
Yeah.
I mean that's 100 or so, in money when you think about how much steel books are.
Yeah.
And I'm quite looking forward actually to watching Deadpool Wolverine again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I think The Exorcist 3 would be the next one I'll watch because I haven't watched that in a year or so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen Exorcist Believer, I've seen Exorcist, I've seen Exorcist, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I've seen Exorcist 2, but I've got no wish to see Exorcist 2.
No, I haven't. I've not seen
Exorcist 3 really is the better sequel.
Yeah.
And the proper sequel really after The Exorcist.
It's always going to be hard to follow Exorcist, though, isn't it?
So I'll look forward to that. I've listened to some more ELO.
Yeah.
Because we had to travel in the car, my brother-in-law and me. So, we listened to, after we'd finished listening to the radio, I put some, ELO was on and we went, oh, you got that on? Yeah, I went, yeah, it was the Discovery album. So we were listening to that and we were talking about your sister and how, what she likes about ELO and that.
Yeah.
What have I watched on telly? I watched The Penguin. I think it's the 6th or 7th episode of that.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
I haven't really gotten into this Generation X thing that's these zombies on Channel 4.
Yeah, I'm not bothered with that.
So in other words, Channel 4's got this all pensioners have turned into zombies thing, and they're showing 2 episodes a week, and they've shown 4 episodes so far.
Is it American or English?
No, it's British. It's English. It's got English and everything. It's the whole thing's English.
Brilliant. Oh well, at least it's not American. That's good.
I look at it as a sort of a comedy thing, really. But it's the makeup's done well and all of that sort of stuff. But it's just I'm not really into it that much. That's that. I think really that is about it. With everything else going on, I really haven't watched an awful lot.
Well, it's quite a good.
Thank you so much for asking. And what can I say? What have you been watching and listening to? I'd really be interested in falling asleep during the music bit and listening to see what Tony's been sending you. Go on.
These were from that indicator sale. I've watched all my things.
I'm still waiting for mine.
Well, I've got here Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Fantastic. I thought I'd get one at Sinbad Movies. And I think I've chosen the right one as a Doctor Who fan because Tom Baker does an extensive interview on here. And it's very revealing. I found it absolutely fascinating.
I bought all the Sinbad ones in the last time that those were up.
But it's really good. I really enjoyed that film.
Anybody that's listened to the documentary, really, not that documentary, but a documentary on Doctor Who will tell you that the producer saw him in that.
film. That's right. But what's interesting is the interview. He talks a lot about his acting and when he played Rasputin and
he finished. He finish on that film and then went straight onto the construction site.
Yeah, that's right. He talked about the construction site and it was interesting, and as an actor doing theatre, he talks about when he was acting in theatre, doing all sorts of plays, and it was just fascinating listening to him. Anyhow, next one I watched. I think I was a bit more disappointed with this one. This is Road Games. Jamie Lee Curtis is in this, and it's filmed in Australia, and she goes over there. But I think she says in one of the extras that she never felt very welcome. They wanted an Australian actress, but they got Jamie Lee Curtis. And she's not in it a great deal. That's the problem.
That's
and
probably not. That's probably not her on the front either.
The film is. You feel it could be better, if you see what I mean. It's not a bad film, and this director, I think, is a sort of a disciple of Hitchcock, and a lot of people are praising it in that sort of way. But I don't know. Actually, I don't know what it is. I wasn't that keen on Stacey Keach as a lead. I don't know. It's just. What do you think about him? I'm not sure about Stacey Keach. That's why perhaps he didn't get many more film roles. As he says in interview, he tended to do in the end going on to TV, all this TV work.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why when I'm looking at him on this film. But anyhow, that one I really enjoyed. Now this one I watched. Eyes of Laura Mars.
Now you know my thoughts on that film,
and I'll just say mine and then see what I think. I was disappointed in it. I think the ending is very weak. I think there's a lot of good things in it, but I just felt disappointed with it.
There's only one
Tommy Lee Jones.
There's only one disappointment really for me.
Yeah.
And that is that they never actually explain why she can precognitively see these things in the future, right?
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah,
but
I don't know.
The Eyes of Laura Mars. The Eyes of Laura Mars was a film that I saw a long time ago, and then when it was for sale, I bought it. Then I told everybody about it, saying, "Why is nobody talking about The Eyes of Laura Mars?" Right? And this was at a time where I was talking to everybody, and from there, I've actually seen and heard that actual cover being shown, saying, "Oh, I was recommended this, and I watched it, and I liked it."
Yeah,
it is a very early film for certain actors that are in there.
Well, I looked at all extras, and they're talking about it. Is it an early Giallo film that's before, because it's an Italian thing, isn't it, Giallo? And they're saying, is this an early one from America? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a thriller to me, and with a bit of supernatural, so I'd call it a supernatural thriller. And there's a lot and also I think I quite like the idea about the sort of glamour model sort of story, what all that going on. And
but that was done in Looker as well.
So there is good things in it. I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I watch it again, certainly. But I kind of expected a bit more, because I don't know.
I suppose for me, I suppose for me, and when I watched it, A, I liked it. B, I do try to put my brain back to what other films were around when that came out.
Yeah.
And I go, you know what? That's quite a strong film, actually, for that year.
Yeah.
Rather than looking at it in the production line of what we've seen afterwards, what's been superseded by it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. But that's not taking anything away. You can't give too much leeway. As I said, there's no solution on why she can see these
Yeah.
murders going through her eyes. It's the thing is never answered.
Yeah.
It's never answered.
Well, if you also listen, it's a John Carpenter script,
Yeah, it
but
is.
it's a very changed one. It went through loads of rewrites. I don't think he was very happy and wants to be associated with the script. And I think maybe that's old. That's why the
Yeah,
ending
but
didn't quite work out.
would you say though that John Carpenter was a lot hungrier back then and he'd have liked to have had his name more prominent in it and most of his stuff not changed in
I'm
it and
sure he
make it
was because this was before
so
Halloween.
again, I
Yeah.
have to look at it and go, do you know
Yeah.
what? Lip service, lip service, lip service. If I was a hungry person back then and I'd written this and somebody came along and redlined all these
Yeah,
bits and all that, you got to remember that it's the person, it's the director
yeah,
that would have said, "Oh, I want these changes,"
yeah,
or the studio themselves. And if the um if the if the director didn't do it, then I'd totally get it. But I bet you any money the director didn't badmouth it.
no.
But I do understand. Look, there's a lot of people that are going to be turning around and saying, "Totally agree with you. It's disappointment."
Yeah,
All I'm saying is, I suppose I'm a little bit more leeway, and I just go, "Do
yeah,
you know what? It's a 1970 blah blah blah
yeah.
film.
I like that atmosphere. I like that. I like a lot. I think the
I'd
feel of
rather
the atmosphere is excellent.
I'd rather watch that than a Death Wish film."
No, I'd rather watch both. I like Death Wish films as
No,
well.
hang on. Now, look,
Yeah.
I didn't give you the option of both. I said I'd rather watch that than a
Yeah,
Death Wish film. I
yeah,
like Death Wish. I've got Death Wish. Denny got me the Death Wish films for me.
yeah,
What
yeah,
I'm trying to say is if somebody put these things up, right, and said, you can watch that or that,
yeah.
it's not you can watch both.
Ah,
Right?
yeah.
It's like you've got a gun. It's what Steve does to me in my blog. He'll
You're
say, "Look,
making things awkward. I look at it like this. You're
hey,
making
look,
things awkward for yourself.
this is how Steve words it, right?
I don't work like that.
He says aliens come down and they hold
Oh,
a laser gun to your head and they say you can only play one game for the rest of your life. What game is it? There ain't no choice of I can watch both. Right? That's not part of it, is it?
Well,
So I said you could watch one, right? And I'm just going, I think I'd rather watch Laura
yeah,
Marley.
I'd say you're a mean sod if you say that to me.
Well, Steve, there you are. That's who I have to live with is bloody Steve's gaming. And he's a mean-spirited sod. Because that's what he does in my blogs. But no, I'm with you, Ian. It's not the best film. It can be looked as a disappointment, but I do give it some leeway in fact that.
But it's a film you can watch again. It's not a film. I think a repeated watch will be good to watch.
I'd easily put that in my player and watch that tomorrow.
It's one of those kind of films. Now, the film that is a surprise of the week, and I honestly, absolutely thought this film was superb. Look, it's John Wayne in Brannigan.
Brannigan. Yeah.
Seriously, it is so much fun. Judy Jason's there driving him round as the British cop, and he's actually fun. You can actually think, wow, John Wayne, he's very good. He's excellent in this. He's really good. I totally enjoyed Brannigan. It's an absolute wonderful film. And also, if you're interested in that sort of era, that just looking around London in 70s is fantastic. Just seeing London and John Wayne is good. You can't argue with it, how good he is in it. I think he's great. And that's surprising.
I've talked about Brannigan. It's been on Legends or one of those one of those standard definition film things that's on in there. I like it. And I'm so glad that that's another Tony York production that he's been sent.
It is. He's got good taste, I reckon.
What was the third Intrada film you bought then to get him for £5? You only showed two.
Oh, did I? I thought I showed. Sinbad, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So there's the three. Hey lad, pay attention.
No. It's because it was because of the breasts on Road
Yeah,
Game.
yeah,
Road
yeah.
I probably got lost that one.
So as I said, I perhaps was a bit more disappointed in the Jamie Lee Curtis one.
Yeah.
I think when you get an actress like that, you think, oh, she's going to be featured quite a lot in it because they'd obviously, gone out of the way to get her into Australia, and she's not in it that much. She gets sort of kidnapped.
Yeah.
That's it.
If I could give a huge recommendation, it will be buy those Sinbad films from Entrada as soon as you can.
Yeah.
All of the Ray Harryhausen
Oh
ones
yeah,
are
it's
a
a
joy.
treat. I know it is a treat.
I was so into stop motion photography.
Yeah.
For years and years and years before computer generation came along.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the people when they talk, I was watching the extras, and people said it brought when they were children, seeing that on the screen was so impressive. It was magic to them. It was absolute magic, and it made them want to do that. These these special effects people, and from them films, they went into it. Because they were so enthused by it.
Like
Which
I said,
is a tremendous achievement.
There's certain things that make it work as well. If you think about it, those skeletons are not supposed to be smooth walking skeletons, right?
Yeah.
So that jerkiness that you get, that stomping forward works actually in its favor for stop motion. I can imagine a graduate student coming out of school or something and using a computer and trying to do a similar scene would probably forget, actually, hang on a minute, there's no muscles on these things. They would actually jangle and wouldn't walk steady and all of that sort of stuff. And I can see them forgetting that by accident and actually making them smooth, and it wouldn't be the same.
One thing they said in the documentaries, and it's a good point, is that he gave them character. Yeah, he gave these little plasticine like characters, something about them, and it inspired people.
All of them had character. The biggest character that I saw, and I went, wow, this is done so well, is the owl in the Clockwork Owl from Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
But I mean, even the Medusa and the
the Medusa
and all of that sort of stuff. You saw the face and you just went, "Wow, look at that!"
There's so many unforgettable ones. Anyhow, let's see. I think is that it?
No, Brannigan. That was a great film. Yeah,
Brannigan. Yeah, totally. It surprised me. It did surprise me. It's a film you could watch over and over again and totally enjoy. John Wayne going around London, fantastic. And that's it. In my music bit, that your favorite slot is.
I'll fall asleep. I'll fall asleep now. Yeah, go on.
It's the debut album from the Cranberries. The Cranberries, I just love them, and it's so Dolores's voice is just absolutely amazing. It's so sad that the way she died, and the music has got this dreamlike quality, but it also has like a sort of folky punk edge as well, all mixed up together. It's beautiful. I kind of, when I feel in a certain way, like today I've not felt great, I can put this on and it changes everything. You can just totally change your mood. And her voice is just amazing. She takes you on a journey. I can't recommend her enough when you hear her voice. I was so sad. I remember when she died and I couldn't believe it. Just incredible. Anyhow, that's me. I don't want to put things down.
No, we put them on at Christmas. I'm always going, Mum, pass us the cranberry sauce, will you?
Yeah. Well, we had to get a good joke in there. So, without further ado,
Where was the good joke in that?
cranberries. So I'll get into comments. Otherwise, we might be here till Christmas eating your cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Right. So the first comment is from Jim Jam Movies. Good evening, gents. I'm working this evening, so hopefully catch up a bit later when I finish. Well, you might be back now, so I don't know.
Could be.
And then we've got Danny Duke saying, "Hi, how are you all? I'm good, excellent."
It's always nice to see Danny.
And Si, good evening, chaps. Good evening,
Hello,
Si. Welcome. And then we've got Si saying, "Danny Duke's hi, matey." Then Dan Duke saying, "Si, hi, mate." And then we've got your mate and everybody else's mate, Steve's Gaming, saying, "Hello, everyone. Hello there, Steve's Gaming." You get the usual welcome from Delboy.
Yeah, I'll get my camera back in focus now.
And then Ross, hello, Ross. I welcome Ross again. Just do it. There he is again, still doing it. Welcome, anyhow, Ross.
Hello, Ross.
And then Danny Dukes was thinking of you, Delta. There you are.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah. And good to see you, Del. They are, Ross says.
No, honestly, it's all very appreciative. Anybody that's been wishing me well. I've tried to get messages across to everybody. I haven't put a community thing out just yet, but it's been a bit tiresome today. You know, I've been a bit tired and lethargic. And I'll be probably all right tomorrow. I just need to get caught up with sleep a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. We've got Muckman Movies saying, "Good evening, chaps." Good evening, Jamie.
So the one before it was Ross. The one after it is Muckman Movies, and the video I did at the beginning of the week was those two wanting me to play some games for them.
There you are. Si says, "Take it easy, Del." There you are.
That's very nice of you, Si. Thank you very much.
Muckman Movies, isn't it a worrying state of affairs that over half America are morons? I think you kind of said it.
Does anybody know how many millions actually voted though? Because I don't know if it's half of the Americans or whether it was just a certain percentage.
I don't know. I think I'm sure I heard his vote had increased, which is
it had increased in young men.
Yeah. Oh, crikey!
And the black vote, I believe.
Oh God. Anyhow, it's too depressing. Just too nice war wound, Del. There you are. Showing your war wounds. Ross says, "I can't believe Trump is president again. Nightmare for the world." Yeah, it's a yes. What can we say? Charles Duncan says, "Ian and Dylan, your thoughts on the new Midas Man on Amazon Prime? Have you seen it yet? I haven't. I'm sorry. Have you seen it?
No, not at all.
I'm sorry, Charles. We haven't seen it.
I'll watch it by next week, though, possibly.
Oh well,
I've got Prime. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Midas
Man.
I
was going to say. I was just going to say to you, what's it about?
Is that supposed to be Midas Man, or is it a German film?
Yeah, well, he touches everything and it turns to gold.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, but, right.
You see, I don't know whether there's a missing letter or whether that is a German film. Midas Man.
Midas Man. No. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah. And then we've got Richard saying, "Evening, chaps. Hope you're both good. Thank you, Richard, for joining us. Thank you."
Getting there, Richard. Thank you very much.
You're not wrong, Ross. The world has gone mad. Our hateful, whiny, misogynist rapist can get back into power. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, I got in trouble for using that word. I've got no problem with it in the right context, and I think that's probably about right.
It is. I'm not watching the news anymore. I know what you mean. I felt like that all. I haven't watched it today at all. I can't do with listening to the verbal diarrhea spurt
Yeah,
out of Trump's mouth on a daily basis. I agree with you.
yeah.
It's not something
Like I
you
said,
want to watch.
I got slammed for that. But
Yeah,
I think Ronnie Barker said it best. You should never be afraid of using words in the right context. If they're in the right context,
yeah,
you shouldn't be frightened about discussing or using the right
yeah,
words. And
yeah,
he has been in the news
yeah,
with and he has been under investigation for those exact things.
yeah,
So how can it be the
yeah.
wrong word?
No, and he is a felon. He did get prosecuted for something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Successfully.
I don't know
Um,
how a president can actually
yeah,
even run while you're
yeah.
under investigation.
And thing is, he can now pardon himself if he wanted to. He could
That's like
just sweep
that's
them
like
all away.
that's like killing. That's like going to court for running over somebody in your car, and
Yeah,
while those 3 points might actually take you into being banned from driving,
yeah,
you then pass your exam for driving a truck, and
yeah,
then driving a truck the next week,
yeah,
where you could be banned the
yeah,
following week because of whatever the courts are doing. Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
I'm not doing a very good job there, but what
No,
I'm trying to
no.
say is, how the hell can you run while your previous presidency is under scrutiny?
Exactly. Yes, it's a good point. Anyhow, Tony says, "Evening, Ian and Dell. Hope you are doing as good as possible, Dell. 4 more years." Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
I know. Uh, Ross Muckman, you're totally right. How people vote for that man is beyond me. He's nuts. Yeah, that's quite a mild way of saying it.
Only thing I'm worried about is Ukraine, really.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
um,
He's a Putin supporter.
yeah, yeah, yes. Richard says ELO Discovery was the first album I ever bought. Great record it is too. There you are.
Yeah.
And Charles says, "Bye, Ekdal. Hey, good on. Bye. You've
I
gone through the mill this week. Take care, mate. Keep well." Oh well, that's there you are. It's a nice.
isn't that really nice?
Yeah,
You see, there are some nice people out there, absolutely
yeah,
brilliant. I have been put through the mill, and it hasn't been just for a week either.
yeah,
But I tell you what, it's people like Charles and Muckman and all of the people that are in ESI, everybody really, that just get
yeah,
me through it. Steve's been incredible, you know. Steve sent me text messages before I went in. He texted me after he went in. Leaving me comments and all sorts
yeah,
of stuff. I mean, Steve's been brilliant. He's still a git, but
yeah.
he's been absolutely wonderful, really. You know,
Then we've got Tony saying, "Evening, Jamie. Not a Trump fan. Marvelous chap, caring, considerate, modest, to name but a few traits. What not to like? I'll keep taking the tablets." Yeah.
yeah. Along with the 24 I have to take. Oh yeah.
And then Muckman says, "Hi, Tony. Trump is an absolute prick." Yeah, that's
Well,
another word.
He is.
Uh, Steve's going, "Damn it, Dell. I want to watch War Games now. Not sure the wife has it, though."
That was my little joke. Was having that thermonuclear Third World War
Yeah.
screens up.
It's a bit closer now, maybe.
War Games, though. What a film!
I remember that. Yeah. Going back.
I mean, Professor Faulkner's in it, and
Yeah.
and his son Joshua, and all of that. It's such a good film.
It is. Yeah.
It's not many people talk about it, but it's definitely a quintessential 80s film.
Yeah.
80s film for definite. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Mukmamu is glad I'm not the only one who was disappointed with the eyes of Laura Mars. Oh, right. Yeah.
And this is where I'm
Yeah.
saying, look, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it is a disappointment to a lot of people. It could have been so much better. Could have been
Yeah.
so much better, and it could have easily have been that with that much talent in it.
Yeah.
But I also have to give it credence that it might have had some very uncomfortable production values to it. It's a film of the 70s, which means that, you know, I think it's 70s, or is it early 80s? I'm not sure. It could be actually
It's
1980. 78,
1978.
yeah.
Yep.
And I look at it from that point of view that, you know, what films were around, you know, between 1970 and 78, you know, when we're talking about the 70s. You know, I mean, I think it's actually, you know, I could watch that film easily again. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Well, I would say I'd definitely watch it again. You know, I may have been disappointed in it, but I enjoyed it.
It's not.
I,
It's not
I
going to
did
win any
enjoy it.
Oscars. It's
Yeah.
got no cine. It's not going to win anything for cinematography, for script, for music.
Yeah.
It's just I watch it and I go, do you know what? It's all right. That.
Yeah. And actually, I realized as well, I kept seeing the bloke. There's this bloke, I kept saying, I'm sure he's familiar. And then penny dropped. It was Odo from Star Trek.
Yeah.
What's his name?
No, I don't know. You're talking
Yeah.
about he's the one who's the shapeshifter in
He's in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
Major character, but I could see it. I just saw it. I saw it. Oh, that face looked
He's
familiar.
got a weird surname. I can't pronounce it.
Aubergine or something. It's
Yeah,
like,
aubergine.
Yeah. But yeah, he's in that. Much younger, but I could tell it was him. And then Tony York says, makes you wonder if the aliens have landed and taken over in the US, invasion of the body snatchers style. I wonder if much of his rhetoric is bluster to win over the voters with those views.
Yeah.
Perhaps the invasion of the body snatchers may have
If
taken place.
if it is aliens that come down, you could have put bloody Tom Cruise there, couldn't you? I mean, what are we gonna have that? We got to have that fat bastard for?
yeah. They made a bit of a wrong choice choosing him, didn't they?
Maybe the rubber costume that's hiding the alien beneath it is only comes in that size. I don't know.
Yeah, it might explain the hair a bit more because he has to keep taking it off and popping his head out.
There's a zip. There's a zip at the back.
Yeah. Charles Duncan, Ian, I prefer the stop animation Stimbad instead of these new computer generated ones. Are you the same? Totally. Oh, I love it. As a kid, I remember just seeing them, and it was magical, and you just can't help but love them. You can't help it. It's just they're wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And do kids feel that wonder nowadays with some of the things? I bet they don't. I bet they don't. Though they might do, but I don't think they would. You know, CGI. Yeah.
I love the, as you know, Aardman obviously loved stop motion, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, well, I could say Wallace and Gromit. Look at that.
That's why I just said Aardman Studios.
Yeah. And look how good they are. They're good examples of something good still nowadays. They wouldn't be the same if they were CGI. They'd have no charm whatsoever.
Exactly.
Tony says, I enjoyed Road Games, Ian. Not a big fan of Stacey Keats. No, I'm not, I don't think. But I enjoyed the story. Glad you enjoyed Brannigan. It was a favourite of mine. Yeah, Brannigan was it was a surprise. It surprised me. I like being surprised. You think, oh, yeah, John Wayne was good. You couldn't help but like him.
Didn't surprise me because I talked about it 3 months ago and told you how good it was. You've only just got round to watching it, miserable bastard.
Yeah.
I tell you about a good film, you watch it 3 months later and start bloody praising it.
Well, you need to go. Well, look, you've got the credit there now. 3 months ago, you said it. You've got it. You've got the credit now. I don't mind you taking credit. I enjoyed it. Totally enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's called not having enough clout.
Yeah. I know. I do that with. I could think of loads of things, you know. Like I love Hammer films, always have, and you get these people who are suddenly going on about the Hammer film experts, Yeah. They're not. Mukman, I personally think he's only gone for a second term to stay out of prison. He'll now block all court cases against him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's his power, unfortunately. He also is a climate change skeptic, so it doesn't bode well for the rest
Skeptic.
of
He couldn't
us.
give a he couldn't give a shit.
I think after China, US are the biggest carbon producers. I suspect they are.
He's all about let's make America great again, right?
And give more money to
The first thing he did in his last term was start to build that wall, and he started to make everything in the steel industry back to the way it was, and all of this sort of stuff. And then everybody was saying, "So how are you supposed to cut your carbon emissions then for this steel works?" And he's there going, "Who gives a shit about the economy?
That's right.
About that? I'm going to make America great again." That's what it was all about. He'll do exactly the same thing again. He'll go, what climate control? The climate control in my car. Oh, I'm not worried about the climate control in my car because the chauffeur turns that on and off for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's about as far as it goes with him.
He won't be interested in electric cars.
And I've always said this: is that the bigger you are, the more you can basically not give a shit about the smaller countries. So there he is, part of NATO, and he'll go, "Well, I'll just come out of NATO then. I'll set up my own NATO. We'll call it NATO USA." And we'll see how many of you are going to actually come over to NATO USA when I blow the shit out of you and when I join forces with the Chinese or whatever it is. And
Putin, he loves Putin.
That's what I mean. Because he knows full well that the bigger landmass and the bigger amount of numbers means that he's got more clout than anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wouldn't care less whether he's got a good relationship with Britain or not.
No, he doesn't.
What's that insignificant gnat crap that's over there? I'm not bothered about them. They want to back down. Otherwise, I'll fire a bloody nuclear missile at them.
The only thing he's bothered about is they'll let him open some more golf courses, probably in Scotland.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame I'm going to nuke that because I quite like the Scottish golf course that's over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. Because you know how much disdain he had for the royal family, and you know the only person that he likes in Britain is that Farage bloke. You know what I mean? It's like
I've got Farage. Oh Lord.
You know that's his British man that he'll put up with. You know what I mean? And I'm going,
yeah. Long as he don't start saying, "Oh, free Tommy." Free Tommy.
Oh,
hear
God,
that? Oh, bloody hell. Then we will be going down the drain. In around figures, it's 72 million votes. Trump, 67 million.
Yeah, but if you total those if you total up those two figures, that's not America, is it?
No.
Because remember, how many million are in Britain?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's overseas. There's a lot of overseas.
No, what I'm trying to say is the whole of Britain is about 75 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So if 72 million and 67 million, if you put those two together, that wouldn't cover the eastern side of America. So where was the rest of them?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. How many billion live in America?
Which isn't a massive mandate suddenly, is it? It's not a massive mandate.
This is what I'm trying to say. 72 million votes for Trump, 67 million. There's a billion plus people over there, and then there's like 3 billion people. That isn't 10%, is it?
No. Ross says, "Thanks for playing Wacky Waters on Vic 20. Not the best game, but brings me back a lot of memories." There you are. And
bloody hard game that is. Bloody hard game.
Muckman says no. It was the Hispanic voters that increased.
Was it?
I think it was something like 67 million voted for Trump to 63 mil for Harris. The ones which didn't vote are the morons too. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. How many billion live over there, and all that? I thought it was Latins, blacks, and the youngsters that were the increase. I heard it was 3 out of 6 were voted for Trump last time. It was 4 out of 6 that voted for Trump this time.
That's
and the extra one were these groups where they were saying it was the blacks, the Latins, and
of course,
and it was the young people that were out of school.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I was listening to it on the news while I was half asleep because it was like 4 a.m. and also,
I'll tell you something. I bet he's going to try and change some laws if he can. The Supreme Court. Do you know what the Supreme Court? He can start appointing judges that will support him.
Yeah.
Once he does that, it'll just increase, and he's got a majority.
He will know the problems straight away of what he got into, the problems he got into that were left behind after he lost the presidency.
Yeah,
and he will go, "I'm closing that loophole for a start."
Yeah, exactly. He'll make the Supreme Court will be just a majority of Republican Trump supporters in the end. There may be only a few Democrats left. That's it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he passed something that says about presidents that can't get impeached or something. If they've been on telly for 30 hours or something.
Yeah, he could extend, because at the moment it's only 2 terms that a president's allowed. What if he put in another law, got it done, that presidents can have longer?
Yeah.
He could start manipulating all sorts.
Yeah. Put in a law that says that if you win 2 presidencies in a row, you get the 3rd one free or something.
Yeah, that's what. That is, in a way, funny, but that's kind of sinisterly true, isn't it? That he could be thinking of.
Yeah, free pass for another 4. Yeah, free pass for another 4 years. Yeah.
Buy one, get one free.
Buy one, get one free. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we get another one. I never watch the news. Just pick and choose what I want on YouTube. I think increasingly, I think don't watch the news at all. It's just awful. Charles Duncan says, "My Dasman is a story about Brian Epstein and the Beatles." Oh, that sounds interesting.
I like that.
Yeah. Stephen says, "Bye, Ian and Delboy. Well, 1 year older today, the big 52, slowly catching you up, Ian and Delboy. Welcome, happy birthday. Happy birthday,
happy
Stephen.
Birthday, Steve.
Bye, 52. What a youngster. Yeah,
he is a youngster as well. Bloody hell. I mean, to you, he could be your son, isn't it?
And to you, a brother.
Brother. Yeah. No, but I mean, the books that you read were written on bloody parchment, weren't they? In Sanskrit.
I'll carry a pigeon sent them as well. They didn't have internet. They're not internet and what have you. Tony always says, "Happy birthday, Stephen." Yep. Got War Games on DVD, Danny says. Yeah. I presume it hasn't got a Blu-ray, has it yet?
I've got it on DVD. I don't think I've got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Stevie boy. And Steve says, "Tony Hawk, thanks, Tony. Muckman Movies, thanks, mate." Stephen Moles, Project X was a good Matthew Broderick movie. I've heard of it, but I've not seen that one.
I mean, I would have seen it, but I can't remember much about it.
Yeah. Tony says a favourite Harryhausen film of mine is Mysterious Island.
Yeah.
Starts out in the middle of the US Civil War and ends up on board Nemo's Nautilus with plenty of giant creatures along the way.
It's one of those first ones with an octopus, isn't it?
Yeah. Wonderful.
I got that under the Intrada sale as well. Again, months ago. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones where I've bought no end of. I've bought the free lands of Gulliver and all of that sort of stuff. I bought them all.
I'm going to get them in future. Probably I'll get them.
The first time that I bought an expensive Harryhausen set was when I bought my Laserdisc, a Harryhausen box.
Yeah,
it had about 5 or 6 Laserdiscs in it, and it had the Golden Voyage and Clash of the Titans and all that. And it came with a thick Harryhausen book that came with much the same mold as the definitive edition of Star Wars with the director's book inside. George Lucas. You know what I mean?
Steve's Gaming. All I can say about America is they deserve everything they've got coming in the next 4 years. Idiots. Yeah. Stephen says, I still remember going to see Mysterious Island at the cinema. The scene with the giant crab coming out of the ground was epic.
Yeah.
Plus, having Herbert Lom, I know Herbert Lom, what an actor, as Captain Nino was a nice surprise. He's one of those actors, Herbert Lom, that pops up in all sorts of places.
Surely you're not going to turn around and say, yeah, but we can't forget James Mason as Nemo. Because James Mason came from Leeds. He was
and don't forget where James Mason was born, lad.
So I just turned around and said, look. Then you can't talk about that when James Mason played Nemo.
Anyhow, there you are. It's a good point. What can you say? No, Herbert Lom, yeah. There we are.
I've heard Trump came from Leeds.
No, I don't think so, lad. They wouldn't have time for him, lad. To say, get the haircut, lad.
That's controversial.
Bloody hell. Yeah, it must be potty. They won't have time for his shenanigans.
No.
Muckman Movie says, strange that Trump doesn't believe in climate change, but he had Elon Musk supporting him on his rallies, who has made a fortune in electric cars. And that's an interesting point, yeah.
I think they had Christopher Walken there as well.
Oh God, I like Christopher Walken. What's he doing? Oh dear. Muckman Movies. Population of US is 335 million.
So basically, about half came out and voted. Right.
Yeah.
That ain't bad. That's what we usually get, and it is 50 or 60%.
Yeah. According to Google, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't Trump own it?
Yeah. Tony says, I'll be like Eardell, not everyone will vote. Could be 60% or so.
Yeah, I just didn't know what the exact numbers were. I just thought it was a very low number, that was all.
Yeah. And next one is Steven says, the butcher is the best. Rachel Reeves never shuts up about this 20 billion black hole. Why didn't Keir Starmer and his team check out to make sure it wasn't going out of line when Rishi was PM? Well, when you get in there, you're going to blame whoever's in. It wouldn't matter. That's right.
When Labour were last in power, they turned around and said, "Oh, we got a letter on the desk when we moved in, and it said, hope you enjoy the seats, and we've taken all the."
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, when Labour came out and Conservatives came in, they said, "Oh yeah, we looked at the books when we came in, and there wasn't a penny left in the bloody electric machine, let alone anything else." Well, of course, they all do that, don't they? Every bloody government
Look at the book.
Didn't even leave a shilling for the electric meter. Bloody hell, that's how they left us, bastards.
I wonder if this on the night before all the civil servants had to get all the books ready, as they call it, whatever that means,
Yeah,
and get all the things. They'd have had to prepare it, and they'd say, "Here you are. Look, there it is. It proves what you said is right." Yes, of course.
amazing how all these settlements came out, wasn't it? With when Labour got in. Oh, we've suddenly got all the nurses and the teachers back into work, and we've settled all of that. Oh, and by the way, we're going to tax the bloody shit out of you now to pay for all of that money that we've got to pay them because we're giving them their 45% pay increase and their 35% pay increase.
Tony says, don't believe anybody when they start talking about black holes. They'll tell you what they want, what you want to hear, regardless of which political party.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a black hole everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. There's a black hole. Steven says, besides 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, have you seen the amazing Captain Nemo and the Underwater City?
Probably. I've seen quite. What I'm trying to say is I've seen quite a few Captain Nemo films. I don't know whether I've seen. I mean, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is obviously the famous one I've seen. The Disney one, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure there has been lots.
With Kirk Douglas and all of that.
Yeah.
You know?
And now, of course, with this new TV series, Nautilus. Yeah. Have you seen? Did you watch Nautilus? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think then? What you've seen of it? It's good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, at the end of the day, when you've been spoiled like we have with things like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, you've seen a lot of, you know, even the Doug McClure films, you know, where you've got some digging machine that drills into the center of the earth and all of this sort of stuff. When you see Nautilus, you go, well, I've seen it all. But it's nice to watch, though, because you go, do you know what? I'm really in the mood for watching something like this. And I don't really fancy watching something I've seen a million times before. So,
well, that's good. Yeah.
So I like all that cyberpunk stuff.
And hopefully it isn't a message thing either. It's just getting on with story, which has to be a plus. Yeah, that's good. Tony Hawk says, watched a couple of Peter Sellers films this week. Only Two Can Play 1962, a comedy in which he plays a Welsh librarian, and Never Let Go. I think that's the only serious dramatic role as a vicious gangster. Highly recommended. That's interesting to think of Peter Sellers as a vicious gangster.
I like. I mean, when it comes to serious roles, being there is probably still.
Yeah, I knew that always gets a mention. Yeah,
that's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard of those two films. I can't remember if I've seen them. Whenever somebody starts talking about the 60s and Peter Sellers, I always turn around and say, "Have you ever seen After the Fox?" You know, I don't know why I keep mentioning that film, but After the Fox, I really liked as a kid.
Yeah. I love.
There's something about taking the piss out of the film industry when you're making a film. And you're making a film to cover up a bank robbery, and you're getting the whole of the town of that lives near this town in Italy. You got everybody involved while you're trying to actually conduct a robbery or something. I thought that was quite good. They are. I probably saw it at a very early age. That's all.
Yeah. My favorite is I'm All Right, Jack. I think it's because I saw it a lot on the TV and got to really like the story a lot. It's very good.
It's when certain films hit certain people at certain ages.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain films in that they don't. I'd probably because I don't watch sort of normal TV now, but going back when we watched TV, certain films were on a lot, weren't there? They were.
Yeah.
You just see them all the time, and they kind of got used to them, being on, and that's one I remember a lot. I'm all right, Jack. Um, Definitely, it's how we've changed in our viewing, isn't it? Now, really.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know what they show that much on BBC and ITV. I
Yeah.
suppose they're still showing the same stuff. Uh, Stephen Mill says Rachel Reeves reminds me of one of those characters from Wallace and Gromit. Oh yeah, looks like she's being controlled from the back when she speaks. Wallace and Gromit. It's
Spitting
fitting
image
in
puppet.
well there.
Spitting image puppet. Yeah.
Yeah. Antonio, would like a Blu-ray of 20,000 Leagues with Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Not the DVD, which now seems out of print too. Oh, well.
I've got 20,000 Leagues on DVD. I haven't got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, it's not got obviously a release then.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's true for the rest of the world. I think there is a if I remember rightly, it's a Disney production. You can only get Black Hole on Blu-ray if you were part of the Disney Club.
Yes, yeah. Actually, on YouTube, sometimes you see these people, and they've got loads of Disney films, and they're all from that Disney Club.
Yeah,
they're all films that were never released. Well, not
and
here.
Then you got to remember that they've upscaled an awful lot of these films for streaming and all sorts.
Yeah.
So that you could easily do it, but
Yeah. And then Muckman Movie says, you watched Carol Reed's Fallen Idol, 1948. It was actually very good. It's narrative show that lies come back and bite you in the arse. Maybe
Trump
should watch it. Yes, that's.
I swear he ought to watch an episode of Tales of the Unexpected.
Yeah, it would be great. I'm waiting for. I bet CIA and all those have loads of tape recordings of him making terrible things, saying all sorts of rubbish. They could easily bring those out because he must be somebody who's pretty careless and will say anything.
Yeah.
Not that it would affect him. He could say anything, and his supporters would say, "Oh, yeah, it don't matter. He said that."
I can't remember if I've seen Fallen Idol. I don't think I have.
It sounds good. Tony York says, Reeves is so monotone when speaking. Good cure for insomnia. She has a Yorkshire connection. She's a Leeds MP. I know.
Oh, well, there you are. You're
not going to believe this.
You've just put the nail on the head. Look there. Look, Leeds.
I'm sure. I've got a terrible feeling it's either Pudsey or West Leeds. And West Leeds was the constituency where I was born, of course, in Leeds. And Pudsey is the little town right next to where I live as well. Pudsey. Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those. But anyhow.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah. Pudsey. Yeah. Pudsey, lad.
You got a lot to live up. You got it's the reason that half the bloody things that are bad in the world is because they come from Leeds.
Look, yeah, Mugman, she's my local councillor. Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
See, Tony York. I knew there was a connection. Yeah. You shouldn't be allowed to have two jobs, an MP and councillor. To be honest, I didn't know that that's new to me. I thought if you was a councillor, you wouldn't be an MP.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's not two jobs.
Yeah.
I think that you're elected, and that seat allows you to be a minister of parliament, which is where you sit down with your constituents.
It seems a bit, yeah.
What I don't think she can do is be she couldn't be sort of like a judge, and she couldn't be a prosecutor for something in the court. She couldn't
Yeah, a
be
GP
a manager.
or
She can't be a manager of her own company. She can't
yeah,
be. She has to sort of like relinquish that
yeah,
while
not
she's.
JP, not GP, JP. um, Ross, did any of you watch Happy Valley on BBC? I've seen all the publicity about it, but I never watched it. It's a police series, wasn't it?
Was never interested in it.
I just didn't bother watching it.
It's got that woman in it who was in Coronation Street that went out with Curly Watts. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it went on for a few years, I think, and but I never watched it. Yeah,
It looked like a hard-hitting heartbeat. I couldn't be gassed, to be quite honest. Yeah. I was sure green grass and sight would show up.
I was just laughing. I was just thinking of on the cover of the BBC release. Couldn't be asked watching this. Great publicity.
Yeah. 2 stars. Delboy says could be asked. What's this shit?
Stephen, what they need to do is stop paying all these immigrants who look after all our pensioners. Like Ian. Thank you, people. I'm not a pensioner. It's just a couple more years. Just, when I'm 66. And then I'll be a pensioner, right?
Yeah, that's because you fudged the bloody birth certificate. You've been a pensioner for about 10 years.
Oh dear! Actually, it's less than 2 years now.
It's amazing back then what you could do with Tipex and a biro.
Tony says, "I have the BFI release of After the Fox, Del. Really enjoyed it. A film where he plays a comic version of a UK gangster is wrong arm of the law. Great.
Yeah,
fun.
I was just saying, After the Fox is the film that sort of like I've sort of got a soft spot for it. I even know the theme tune to it.
Oh right, crikey!
It's got Peter Sellers sort of like doing this sort of like Italian voice. I am the fox. He goes, who are you? I am me. Who is me? Me is a thief. And all this sort of stuff. It's sort of like a 60s tune with Peter Sellers sort of like having it up in the background. I've got the soundtrack, by the way.
Of course. Well, you would do, wouldn't you? Tony says, Jamie, I have Fallen Idol to watch. Perhaps needs to be pushed up the watch pile. That watch pile must be pretty big, but you have to get it up.
No, mine is.
Steven says, I would like to see a Blu-ray of Metro starring Eddie Murphy. Michael Wincott as the bad guy was creepy as hell.
I've seen Metro, yeah.
I've not heard of that Eddie Murphy movie. Charles Duncan says, Ian and Del, is there a favourite movie you keep going back to and keep watching?
Well, we all know, isn't there? We've mentioned them over many weeks. I mean, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I keep going back and watching that. And then I gave you that film, didn't I? Flight of the Doves. I keep going back and watching that. But there must be hundreds that I could put into the category of. I keep going back and watching that for some reason. Yeah. Even Waterworld I watch too often. You know what I mean?
Well, why not?
I can't really stand that film. It's just that there was a point when UK Gold was showing it every other day or something during COVID.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, oh God, I even know what's going to happen next just by listening. I'd go, I know what's going to happen. It's the kid's going to be starting drawing in crayon on his bloody boat again in a minute and all of this sort of shit. I knew exactly what was going on. And there's a number of films like I say, Blade Runner I'll go back to and watch a lot. The Carry-Ons I'll go back and watch a lot. at the moment, it's a lot of historical dramas that I'm watching an awful lot, and I go back to. I mean, Cleopatra was shown twice 3 weeks ago, and I watched it both times. I watched it. You know what I mean? It was just silly.
Yeah.
It was on BBC Two, and then in the week it was on BBC Four at night. And I went, well, I watched this on Sunday on BBC Two, and I'm watching it again. What's going on?
Well, why
It's
not?
just that. It's just that's what happens. It's like there's nothing else on. It's better than watching. You know, I can't be asked to get off my backside either to put a DVD in. I'll watch this. But what about you? Is there a favourite?
There's one film.
Is it The Railway Children? Is it Kes? Is it?
Railway Children. I do watch a lot, but it's probably not my most watched. The Dead Zone. Absolutely, absolutely the Dead Zone. Psycho. I can watch Psycho over and over again.
You know full well you're going to say The Burning at the end. Go on, might as well get it out of the way.
I've got to say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and the Final Destination films. Absolutely love the Final Destination.
The Burning
and Friday the 13th Paramount ones. After Paramount ones, I don't tend to watch as much, but all the Friday the 13th up to Jason, the Manhattan one, yeah, I'll watch all those any time of year. And Halloween, I watched quite a bit, not just.
Oh, and then there's that other film, isn't there? You know, the one called The Burning.
Oh yeah, The Burning. That's in there, but I wouldn't. I love it, but I wouldn't put it as the one.
You liar!
Most watched.
You liar!
No,
that's up there. It's only because I mentioned it, and you're putting it down now because I bigged it up.
You never mention, and I say you're not listening. I always say The Dead Zone, The Dead Zone, The Dead Zone.
Yeah,
I love The Dead Zone, and I love the TV series as well. TV series was good. Anyhow, enough of me.
Yeah, but I don't watch films in black and white. Anyway, next.
Ooh, it's a bit snobby, isn't it? Black and white films. There's no wrong. I was
just trying to tell you that the films that you watched were silent.
What you're going to say. I watched Laurel and Hardy. You always mentioned Laurel and Hardy.
I was just going to say that it's just the films that you watched were silent, weren't they? That's all I'm saying. Yeah. They were only silent because Leeds didn't get bloody sound equipment until about 1985 or something. Yeah.
They used to have the guy on an organ, a Hammond organ playing. The soundtrack.
I'm not saying the rest of the world didn't have sounds, just Leeds didn't.
Yeah, we couldn't afford an orchestra, so we had this organ which took place at orchestra.
Yeah. You had subtitles.
Yeah. Anyhow, Seymour says, and a Blu-ray of Warlords of Atlantis. That honestly, that film gets mentioned virtually every week. Warlords.
But it's Doug McClure, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to. I mean, I've got that DVD set that's got 4 films on it. Isn't it? It was like Warlords of Atlantis.
Yeah.
And they show those on Legends all the time.
Yeah.
And they were a stay point in the 70s. You know, we used to watch those as kiddies at kiddie cinema. You know, they were brilliant.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are.
You look at them now and they look stupid. You know, great big massive bloody people dressed up as ducks.
Yeah. But I think that's
walking along in a jungle while you're expected to think that that Peter Cushing can run away from this big duck or something.
Oh dear. Sai says I've been season 4 of Only Murders in the Building at the weekend. Absolutely love the show. Have you guys seen it? I've seen the trailers. I know it's a very popular series. A lot of people say good things about that.
Yeah. I've seen 2 seasons of it. I'm a bit behind. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I don't know why they haven't brought out over here a box set of them.
Yeah.
It's very much one of those things where you only watch it on Prime, and Prime don't bring out physical media. And
I think it's on Disney.
yeah, is it Disney? Is it?
Yeah, that probably explains why it's not been brought out yet.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, Steve Martin and Martin Short are brilliant in it.
Yeah, maybe Disney won't bring series out. Maybe they'll only bring films and Star Wars.
That's what I mean. It's just such a shame. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Steve Martin says he feels very comfortable and thinks that it's got it's got long legs, and he's happy to do that and not worry about film stuff anymore. And I suppose it aids him being able to do all his banjo stuff and that he does and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, because he only has to work so many months of the year, and then he can just relax and wait until the next year when it's renewed, and then he'll do another couple of months. And he's happy like that, I suppose. You know, in the twilight of his years, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ross says, Ian and Del, do you still watch Alan Partridge? Is a classic. Yeah, I've got a box set up there. I can see Alan Partridge. He's somebody you can watch anytime. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
The mid-morning matter stuff less so, but I do watch the original Alan Parsons show, and then when he got sacked and he was living in
on Radio Norwich,
you know, and all that sort of stuff. I watch an awful lot of that, and the more you go on to the Radio Norwich stuff, less so, but it's still good.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. It's just I watch that less than I do.
Oh yeah, it's somebody easy to watch. You can just put him on. Right, what else we got here? Tony says it's Leeds Westians, and guess what? Bramley in Leeds, where I was born. Yep. Hi, there we are.
You lot want to start talking about things like I'm
on the edge of Bramley, though. I was born on the edge.
Who gives a shit?
Stanningly, and then Pudsey.
Who gives a shit? You want to start talking about Morse and things like that?
Like North Leeds.
Not this North shit. You want to start talking about Morse and start talking about Z-Car. All this bloody Northern shit.
It's all
talking about start talking about Alvidazane pet or something.
I mean, we don't want to talk about Southern stuff.
No, we do.
Why?
We've had enough Northern crap.
Nah, lad.
Bloody Tetley tea bags and shit.
No. Dear, what do you do? What do you do?
Bloody Yorkshire brews. Let's have a Yorkshire brew, shall we? No, let's not.
Hey, lad, they can't even do accent proper. Hey, lad.
all this whippet shit.
Andy, I was born in York. York is a great city.
Bloody sticking your arm, sticking your arm up a cow's backside in all creatures great, big and small is not my idea of a fun Sunday.
Yeah. Even though it's a bit posher up there in North Yorkshire, it's still great. Is York. I love York. Best place. Aye. So well done, Andy. Really grand.
Bollocks. Says, that's what I say.
Never seen Happy Valley. Oh, enjoying some Z cars and softly on several YouTube channels. Softly, yeah. Barlow and Watt. Yeah.
Bollocks.
Well, yeah. Dear. They were quite big programs. They did well. Spin-off.
So was All Creatures Great and Small, but I don't want my arm up a cow's backside. Thank you very much. I want to start watching some proper stuff, like the Sweeney.
Proper
Minder.
Hey, if you hadn't had these programs, there wouldn't be any Sweeney.
Yeah,
I told
bloody
it.
wow.
You have
Yeah,
me
because I forgot
thanking these programs.
I forgot
Bloody hell.
I forgot the Big Bang started off in Leeds.
A
Oh,
big
bloody
bang.
hell. The whole centre of the universe centers on Leeds.
Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? I mean, not would happen down south. It wouldn't. Um, Stephen says, "Have any of you seen The Killer's Game, starring Dave Battisuta?" Oh, is that the wrestler bloke, isn't it? I heard it bombed at the box office. I think it's got a 4K and Blu-ray release in the States soon.
I haven't. No.
No, I've not heard of it. Yeah, I know he's the wrestler, isn't
I'm
he?
looking forward to watching Gladiators 2.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, it's and the reviews have been quite positive about it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So it might not be as bad as people seem to think it was going to be.
I was dreading it, and now I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. Stephen says Charles Duncan, mine is Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. Love that movie. Yeah, Wrath of the Khan is a great movie.
Nothing
And
wrong with
of course,
that.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Even Delboy and me agree on that. We both absolutely think it's a fantastic film. But yeah, Wrath of Khan is good. In fact, I'll be honest. I think I like all those early pictures. I know number 5 is not as good; it gets a lot of stick, but I enjoy them. I think you can sit and enjoy the whole lot of original Star Trek.
It's just I think Star Trek 5 was destined to fail because basically they had no faith in the script. They had no faith in Shatner. They were setting him up for a fall. I'm pretty sure of
and
this.
they did it. Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the day, they were going, look, this is a tired old piece of shit.
Yeah.
That I think we could even get a tax rebate by making it so bad that it tanks or something. And in the end, though, everybody was turning around and saying, we got to give them a good send-off, so we got to make another one. And that's when they went, yeah, we better make this one a good one.
And number 6 is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's absolutely, I love number 6. What a great film.
It was almost like they did it on purpose.
Yeah. Because number 6 was perfect send-off.
I mean, you had three different bloody special effects companies working on that bloody film.
And then Danny says, this week I got the Post Crimson Peak limited edition 4K UHD, Silent Running 4K UHD, Trick or Treat limited edition 4K UHD, Gran Turismo Steelbook, Guest House, Paradiso, and Ghost on 4K. Oh, I like Ghost. I love Ghost. I think it's a great film.
You are?
Yeah, I love. Don't you like Ghost? I think Ghost is great.
Patrick Swayze and Demi.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's good film. I love it. I think it's one of those films that you can just sit back and enjoy. And Whoopi Goldberg steals it.
Clay bollocks. That's what I think about that. Clay bollocks. The best thing that came out of it was it being parodied in a Naked Gun film. That's about the only thing that was bloody good about it.
Yeah, I told you he's got no taste, does he? I went crikey.
That's the thing. I am got. Actually, to be quite honest, to be quite honest,
I don't understand why you don't like Ghost. I really don't.
Honestly, actually, really, what it is, right, is I'm not really a big fan of Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I get you. If you don't like an actor, that's it.
He's all right, and I don't mean to be mean spirited about the people that are not here, but I've never been a huge fan. Yeah. That film I can tolerate because it's got Whoopi Goldberg in it. She makes it funny.
She makes it the film.
Demi I did actually feel sorry for Demi when Patrick Swayze. In fact, actually, I can watch it because Patrick Swayze died in it, didn't he?
Yeah,
sort of like came back as a ghost.
Yeah.
I like the special effects of the ghosts as well. The way that they sort of like grabbed them and sort of like dragged them down or something, you know. There's lots to like in it. It's just that I think it got an awful lot of hype. Well, not hype,
You
but it got
know,
an awful lot of it got an awful lot of airplay.
yeah,
Um,
I understand that about an actor can put you off a film. Like, for instance, I'll be honest, Tom Cruise, early Tom Cruise,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't, I can't get on with him at
Risky
all, really.
business and all of that. But
And
no,
Top Gun, I never liked that
what I
much.
was trying to get at was I
Yeah,
saw this film Ghost at the pictures and thought, oh, it's all right. This right
yeah,
when it was being advertised to be out on sell through and on rental,
yeah,
it went ballistic in
yeah,
regards to advertisement. I saw pictures everywhere. I saw the cover
yeah,
everywhere. I saw, and to be quite honest, I just went, I'm resenting this film now, even though I
yeah,
quite liked it at the pictures. I'm starting to really resent it. And then it was on TV and it was heavily advertised as being the
yeah.
film of the week on whatever it was. I just got fed up.
Do you know
Just
what
got fed
my
up.
film is that's like that? And I've never seen it, but it's not aimed at people like me. And it was Pretty Woman. That
Oh
was
yeah, Pretty Woman's
everywhere.
another one.
Pretty Woman, Pretty Woman. I just didn't want anything to do with that
Yeah,
film.
yeah, those really are your legs, you bitch.
I
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
what have you seen it? What is it? Is it as bad as you think it is?
Oh yeah.
It's as bad. Yeah, I thought it would be.
And Crimson Peak,
Uh,
I've got that limited edition 4K. Trick or
yeah,
Treat, I've got that. Muckman corrected me and told me that was the anthology film, not the. And I went, yeah, sorry,
yes, it is. Yeah,
I thought it said Trick and Treat. It's Trick or Treat. Yeah.
and
Gran
Gran
Turismo,
Turismo.
brilliant film. Guest House Paradiso, that was the one that they advertised not long ago that you could buy in a
Yeah,
limited
with
run for about
Rick Mail, isn't it?
2,000.
And yeah,
Where they were really,
yeah,
really exploiting the fact that it was the anniversary of Rick Mail's death or
yeah.
something. And then Ghost, which is that Patrick Swayze piece of shit. Where yeah.
To be honest, the Gran Turismo or whatever it is some game thing, isn't it? And that immediately think, I bet that's awful.
You know I've got a rant. I've got a rant every Wednesday.
I've got to go on my rant. Game
I've got
films.
to do a rant every Wednesday. It's the law.
Game films. Well, I know a lot of people love games and that, but if when you think, oh God, yeah, another game film, please stop it.
Well, War Games ended up being a game.
Yeah, but it's a different thing in a way.
Is it? What's so different about it?
It's a film that is not based on a game, is it? They made
a game out of it.
Yeah, but the film, as I watched it originally, in a way, it was very much of the Reagan era, that sort of time.
How many games were in that film? There was tic tac toe, chess. There was everything in that bloody game. In that film.
I wouldn't know that. I want to get
You saw the film.
Yeah, but I wasn't interested in that. I was just. It was, I was interested in the story of the film.
It's a central core of the film, you daft son.
It was about the Cold War time.
No, it's no.
It's into the system.
No. It's about the futility of war and the fact that just like tic tac toe, there can be no winners.
But
because
the whole
game is designed for it to be a draw.
The story is about what could happen. That's what it was trying to say. But so it was really,
Yeah.
Bah. Oh dear.
No,
you're quite. You're special 35mm screening of Crouching Tiger.
Before you go any further, I hadn't finished.
I've not seen it on the big screen since its original release. There you are. Anyhow, go on. He's going to go.
You've got to read it out again because I didn't hear that.
About game films.
What I was trying to say was, you're quite right. It is about the futility of war. It is, but it's just that the methods of how we do our wars are just an indication that war is the best that you can ever hope for. With war is a draw. There can be no winners. There can be no losers. Star Trek has shown that. How many times have they shown some computer blowing up another computer for the sake of civilizations? In fact, there was one famous one, wasn't there? Do you remember it in Star Trek? It was the one where they all had to go into their own little pods, and
that's right. Yeah,
and
they
then
said 35 people.
35 million have died. You got to go to your destruction
35
chamber.
people in there.
Got to go to your destruction chamber and die because a computer told you to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So all I was getting at you're quite right, Ian. I was only having a laugh with you.
Yeah.
But
it's all right.
The methods that are used inside that film are to indicate that war is futile, and that the best you can ever hope for is a draw. So Size turned around and said something about Crouching Tiger, has he?
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, and that sounds a 35mm copy screening sounds great. I'm sure that'll look fantastic.
Do you know what? I never saw that film at the pictures, but I was recommended that I get it on DVD when it first came out. I bought it, loved it. All of that string work that they did in the trees. I remember them leaping about in the trees, going like this, and I was going
brilliantly choreographed. I mean, that's how you remember it for.
And then I bought it on Blu-ray, and I don't think I've got a 4K. I don't think I've got a 4K. I think I've only got a Blu-ray of that.
Is there a 4K of it? Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I've got a 4K.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
one that I think, Ian, would be perfect because of the colours.
Yeah,
with all those greens in the trees. It's all set in China, where they've got lovely reds and all that sort of stuff.
And I presume the sound as well will be really good in that. Everything about it will be fantastic. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy that, Si. I'm sure you will. Great film to see. Tony says, watch Corruption this week. Oh yeah, with Peter Cushing as the killer doctor. Unusual for him to play the villain. It is unusual. It's a good film. I think that's one on Indicator films that they released. Yeah, and it's good. I love Peter Cushing, and therefore it is good to see him playing a villain. Definitely, because it's not something he did a lot of. Great, good film though. Danny Jukes love.
I didn't want to comment on that. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Anything else? Do you want to comment on that?
You didn't want me to comment on that, so you went past it. Go on. That's all right. Danny
Which
Jukes,
one?
Silent Running.
No, you can comment.
Pushing.
Go on. Do you want
I'm joking. I'm joking with you. Bloody hell.
No. Right. Okay. I have 6 film books for the Leeds International Film Festival next week or so.
If it's in Leeds, it's probably going to be Trumpton, Chigley, Finger Bobs, Bagpuss, and Ivor the Engine.
Here we are. I think this is what it's got moved down. The Killers, Cloud, The Last Wave, Peter Weir, The Girl with the Needle, Night Bitch, great title, Amy Adams, and Flow, animated. Well, there you are. Interesting lot of titles there. Fascinating titles. I know nothing.
Yeah, but it's in Leeds.
Well, yeah. Well, they're bound to be enhanced. They'll be even better, won't they? This is going to be
the most anticipated thing in Leeds is watching Chigley or something on the big screen.
Oh dear. What can you say? What can you say? Right. Let's.
I'm only kidding. I love Leeds. I like Leeds.
It does.
I've been there once.
Yeah. Go on. Wait for punchline.
When I lived in Manchester, I travelled to Leeds once, and I enjoyed it.
Well, that's good. Good. Thank you. Good.
I was glad to get out of there, but I was all right.
I'm sure they were saying, "Go on, get back over there, bloody hell! Coming over here with your Lancashire ways. We don't want your ways here. This is for local people, not for you." Yeah, this is for locals. Let's have a look.
I said, "Where's the drinks machine?" They pointed to a well in the
Yeah.
a well with a bucket. Go on.
uh, Vol says, "I've not seen it yet." And Charles says, Steve modules. I do have a Star Trek box set. I got them gifted to me. I haven't watched them.
Oh, you got to get that changed
Great.
there for next week.
Yeah. And Steve Mole says, some of my favorite movies I go back to THX 1138. Is that the George Lucas one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturn 3. Oh, yeah. That gets mentioned a lot, pops up. And Capricorn 1 and Westworld. I say they're all great films. Yeah.
Well, they all are.
Yeah, they are.
Saturn 3 is on Blu-ray. It's from Arrow, if I remember rightly. Capricorn 1 is on the Intrada, if I remember rightly, but there is a better version than that. That's a great conspiracy film that really a lot of people don't talk about. It's about 3 hours long as well. THX 1138 is George Lucas's first film before he did American Graffiti.
That's right.
It was a student film. It's a good film, but it's a bit janky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The story's a bit weak.
Westworld's a classic.
Westworld speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, Future World is not brilliant, but they made a TV series out of it enough for you to know that it was a good enough film. So, you know. Yul Brynner shines in that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Yul Brynner, fantastic. Tony says, "I have that Doug McClure DV set, Del. Good, cheesy fun."
Yeah, it is, and it's about time it was on Blu-ray. I tell you.
Yeah. So, who's looking forward to the obvious car crash that is the Day of the Jackal,
remake on Sky TV? Yeah,
you just said it.
I've heard. No, it's just I've heard of that. I've been going. Oh, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, we've had one remake of it. You've got the superb original, and now you've got a bloody Sky TV version. Jesus,
and it's going to be awful. Yeah,
it's going to be watered down shit.
Yeah. What is the point? I still say it. What is the point? But there we are. Tony says, Jamie, is The Killers the Lee Marvin version? I have the Blu-ray of that.
No, it's the band from Britain. And what was it? What could The Killers? What did they come out with?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you who likes those. Jim Jam. He went to see them.
I know. He went and saw them.
That isn't them.
I said to him, I said, you know, when you went to go and see The Killers, I said, well, I just said, how many was there 4 other people there out of the fan club?
Oh God!
You know, I mean, it must. They budgeted for the size of bloody Wembley and had about 5 people turn up.
I can see you're a big fan of them, aren't you?
No, I'm only joking. You know, I like to get a rise out of people.
Actually, I was thinking, The Killers. I don't know what to say about them really. Apart from the lead singer, isn't he?
You gobsmacked for something to say. It's music, man. Yeah. You love music. You're the sort of person that talks about shit from any type of things, aren't you?
I'm trying to be diplomatic about them.
Well, next week you've got to do a review of their album. Next week you've got to do a review. You got to do a review of their album. Go on.
No, as you can see, I'm probably not a big fan of theirs. I'm not a big fan of Killers, but a lot of people are, and that's good. At least they're enjoying listening to music and fantastic groups that there is.
Yeah, you've already read that one. You've already read that one.
Yeah. I jumped ahead on that. Yeah. Si, don't think they'll better the Edward Foxton version of that. Yeah,
No.
definitely, that's true. No, Tony, The Killers is an Asian thriller from this year. I think Cloud is an Asian thriller too. Oh, right.
I've
Um,
heard.
exactly, Tony. Yeah. Dell's Northern Jealousy coming out
Not
early
bloody
tonight.
jealousy,
Yeah,
I
of
can
course.
tell you.
But I mean, he can't help it, can he?
There ain't no jealousy with
Yeah.
that shit, I can tell you.
It's you know, oh dear. Tony, it could be Northern
Shall I tell you
envy,
what?
a
Shall I
little
tell
known
you? No, I'll
condition
tell you. I'll
where
tell you.
people from the south really wish they were up north.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you a good thing about Leeds. Shall I? Right. I'll tell you. No, I really like Leeds. This is one of the reasons why I like Leeds. Right. Because when the polar ice cap mounts, Leeds is the first stop it hits.
Oh dear. What can you say? Oh dear.
You're protecting the south from the bloody water.
Daft as a brush. Daft as a brush. That's what we'd say. Yes, daft as a brush, lad. Yes, the scenery was great. Also, George and Mildred.
Yeah,
of course.
southern stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, southern stuff. Yeah, blue egg. No, George. I can guarantee that George and Mildred pops up most weeks on this chart, so that
It
might
does.
say a lot about it. Don't you agree on that? It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
George and Mildred pops up so many times.
Fantastic little comedy show, I tell you.
Yeah. Ross, Sweeney is my favorite cop show. Yeah, no, I must know them virtually word for word by now. Yeah, I know you've got the box set of the.
They are. I mean, the Sweeney is a good show. I mean, there are a lot of good northern cop shows. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Sweeney sort of like started off the gritty.
Yeah, it's the style.
Stuff,
the style of it is gritty. There was no like it. You know, I remember watching it and just thinking, "Wow, this is different." From BBC, always had a more sort of still that more not quite as gritty. They wouldn't go.
Oh Christ! Far. They were Juliet Bravo bollocks, weren't they? I mean,
the people were more. Yeah, everybody was. You know, I mean, Dixon of Dark Grain. You know, oh dear, a slap rap back at head. Hey lad, stop it.
Yeah. And then the artist they got was Shoestring and the Chinese Detective.
Yeah. But yeah, there was the word gritty could never be described. Those BBC series.
You weren't going to get the Professionals on BBC.
Yeah, that was on ITV, wasn't it? Professionals. Yeah.
They know how to do it right.
Yeah, and we got it. Tony, you're right. It's miserable down south, as Del can testify. Yeah,
it's bloody sunny. It's sunny and peaches and cream down here. Not that bloody dull northern shit.
They're all
the brightest colour is grey. I mean, that's north. That is, isn't it? Jesus.
Oh, Andy says Pretty Woman is okay, not as bad as Dirty Dancing.
Well, that's true. I will say that. Pretty Woman is better than Dirty Dancing, but it ain't saying much.
Yeah, I don't. Neither of them I fancy at all. Nah. Stephen Wells says, "Have any of you seen Daryl? It's about a lad who gets adopted, and they found out that he's an android. A great 80s movie. If you haven't seen it." I haven't seen it. But
I used to know what Daryl stood for. It was digital and I don't know. I bet the letters stood for something, and it was to show that the lad was a computer. And he was given to a family, and he was sort of like a brother to this. It was great. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant 80s Hollywood little film.
Yeah.
Almost around the same time as War Games and Last Starfighter and Enemy Mine and all of that.
Some good films. Yeah. Muckman says, I got the Deadpool and Wolverine Steelbook. Wolverine design, and the Radiance bundle of Haxon Daily box set, Axon Daily box set, Japanese and Ghost Story trilogy, I Vampiri, and Dogma Magra. Yeah, I saw your video showing those off. Yeah, or was it a video? It was. I saw it somewhere. I think it was on. I think yeah.
I was going to say I've watched Muckman's films. I don't remember seeing Hoxan does a Ghost Story.
I think I saw it on Instagram, maybe.
Possibly. I mean, the last thing I saw of McMahon's was when he was showing off his steel books for. It might have been even Halloween, I think.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. The Radiance collection. A lot of people seem to like these Radiance releases. They're getting quite. I think they release every month. They're building up quite a big catalogue. They've probably been going now for well over a year, I think. And Steve's Game says, sorry to go wildly off topic, but Del, how damn good was that F1 race on Sunday? Brazil always delivers.
It was really weird, actually, because the Formula One in Brazil started off early because of the rain, and I was doing my blog, and I just managed to watch it after the blog had finished, and it was a great race because it was raining, and there was so many crashes. Yeah, you don't want anybody to get hurt, in a Formula One race, but when something like that's sporadic, like rain, it can really throw a curveball, and it really shows off sometimes who the best drivers are, because the best drivers are the ones that don't crash in the rain. You know what I mean? But yeah, that I did enjoy that, Steve. Next.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say a note.
Well, I know that you didn't have any inputs on.
No, well, I don't know hardly anything about Grand Prix racing.
I feel bad when they're talking about something that you don't know. So I just try and give it. I try and give it a good answer.
My dad
the trouble is, when they start talking about something that you know and I don't, you go on for hours.
It's good. You
don't give a shit that I'm just sitting there going, yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
bollocks. Yeah.
Bollocks. Hey, this is like what you get. I don't know. These Southerners. They're bloody hell. What can you do? And Muckman says, I remember Daryl, Steve, not seen it in decades, but I remember enjoying it as a kid. Yeah.
It is honestly, it's a good film, that.
Yeah.
The mother brings it home for the but I think she designed it, if I remember right.
Yeah. Stephen Mel says Muckman movies. Another favorite of mine is Flight of the Navigator.
Compliance.
Yeah.
That's got Pee Wee Herman's voice in it, isn't it? I forgot his name.
And Muckman says, I prefer The Last Starfighter to both of those. That's another film that's been popping up quite a bit, hasn't it? The Last Starfighter.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about The Last Starfighter was it was supposed to coincide with a game. And the game never got made, but they made the game afterwards. And it's the exact replica of the one that's outside the shop.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you can actually download it for free and play it on your PC now.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
You could just type in Last Starfighter game that was never made. And
you
can download it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Seymour says Short Circuit and the Cocoon films. I love also. Yeah. Well, all good. Short Circuit.
Number five is alive. Do you prefer Short Circuit with Steve Guttenberg or Short Circuit 2, which gets more love, I think?
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer? The first one or the second?
I think I prefer. Actually, I don't think I've seen the second one. I've seen the first.
Oh my god!
No, I don't think I've seen the second one. I've definitely seen the first one. I enjoyed the first
Well,
one.
the second one is more humor. It's all
Is
based
it?
in New York.
Oh.
Yeah, it's basically he comes to New York and he sets up his own company or something, and he starts selling little number fives.
Oh,
You know, these little toys and things. It's quite good.
that sounds good.
No, honestly, it's quite good. But it's the one that gets the most love because I think it made more money. I think
Oh,
everybody
right.
went and saw
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the first one was a secret hit, if you see what
Yeah,
I mean.
I like the first one. Yeah.
And then the second one it just
Yeah.
blew up. You know what I mean?
Anyone seen Axon? It's a 1920s silent horror. It's supposed to be a masterpiece. Can't wait to watch it when I get some time.
No, but I saw Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde silent comedy. After Pete turned around and said it was the first silent horror. Where people kept saying Nosferatu's the first one. It's not. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I think it was right. I'm sure on that. Yeah. I think it is.
As soon as he said that, I went, I'm pretty sure I've got that. And I looked and I've got it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
What year is that one then? It's about 1913, 14.
Yeah,
like
it's 12, 13, somewhere around there. I liked it. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It's one of those it's one of those horrors that I think it's sepia. You know, they've actually put a blue tint or a brown tint over it, you know, where it's supposed to be black and white. They've actually put a filter in front of the camera and made it brown or sepia or something to make it look old.
Yeah. Yeah, what's this? I don't know whether it's me, but I've watched some sort of early sort of silent films on TV, and sometimes you get this red tinge put in.
Yeah, it's almost
what
like
is that about? Why is that red tinge?
It's what they call sepia. It's a film. It's a type of filter that they've put on things. That you know how I mean, I've got a comic, right? And it's not color, but the first 4 pages in the comic are all green. It's green, black, and white.
Yeah,
it's because they added one pass of color.
Yeah,
and then basically, because the Hulk is green, it means that the majority of the panels with him in are the right color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all the rest of it is black and white. It's hard to explain, but I think they do that with black and white films.
Yeah, how long has that been going on? Because I've just noticed it recently. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen them before, and they haven't been this red.
But I don't think I looked into it. I don't know if it's a filter that was put on the camera while it was being filmed, or it was during the production, or the should I say the development of the film. They put a color dye. You know what I mean?
It's quite strange seeing it. I'm not used to it. But it's interesting. And then so James says, I was thinking about getting Vampiri, but I have found I have it as an extra. Oh, that's good. On an Arrow Blu-ray of Mario Brava film. Forgot which one. Well, that's useful then. If it's an extra, fantastic extra to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Short Circuit. Stephanie. Yeah. Muckman, nice, Tony. That's lucky. Yeah. Stephen says, I watched a double bill last night. The old Nosferatu and then Shadow of a Vampire. Oh, yeah, that's the film about the making of Nosferatu, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Danny, the rate my takeaway guy lives in Leeds. Have you ever bumped into him, Ian? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Leeds is so small that everybody knows each other, and you know exactly, you know all of the people that deliver food around your area, don't you?
Oh dear. I wonder if it's the same one my son orders from.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I bet you're all bloody related.
Yeah. Steven's going, I don't like Capricorn one, purely because all the moon landing deniers, it seemed to spawn. I do
Oh,
get you on that, but I still enjoy it. You have to be pretty
that's what
thick
I mean.
these
I,
people.
I know full well it's a conspiracy sort of
Yeah.
like theory film, but I can
Yeah.
let it go that it's that all the people that watch it go, see, I told you, look,
Yeah,
they
I
even made a
know.
film about it. I just go, no, it's taking the piss out of all of that.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a very very well written film.
Yeah. I like it when some say, "Oh, I've been looking at the moon through telescope. I can't see flags." Well,
Yeah,
of course you're not going to see the flags from down here. You think, I mean, really?
yeah. It's not like that Marks and Spencer's advert where there's a granddad up there with a bloody telescope looking down and just wondering if the little girl's going to be sending a Christmas present up here for Christmas. That was pure fiction, by the
Yeah,
way.
I
know. Honestly, there's some people that go, yeah, that was real.
Oh, of course they do.
Was
No,
it
and
what?
there's people who spend hours discussing these black and white film bits and saying, "Look, that proves it's not." And then they say, "Oh, look, there's a Kubrick script there. Can you see the Kubrick script?"
Yeah.
Oh dear, he got
Yeah,
fed up.
Ghostbusters is real, honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. There's a people out there with going around with nuclear backpacks trying to capture ghosts. And that telephone number that you see in the film's true. Go and ring it.
Oh yes.
Honestly, it's great. It's a documentary, Ghostbusters. Go on, right.
That's right. Steve says, "I like the Jackal starring Bruce Willis, but Richard Gere's Irish accent was bad." I'm not a fan of Richard Gere, to be honest. It's not.
No, but I was saying though that Day of the Jackal was, even though the original is still my favorite, the Bruce Willis one was all right.
Yeah, I like Bruce. Yeah, I like Bruce. Yeah. Steve Moe says, "I own the 2 Sweeney movies and the remake, which was bad." Yeah, I've got the 2 Sweeney movies. Tony sent me them, and they're brilliant. And I haven't got the remake. I've not seen the remake.
You slag.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Have you seen that remake?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah.
That's the one with what's his face? It was in Indiana Jones, the 4th film. What's his name?
Oh, is it Ray Winston?
Ray Winston, yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah. I need to see Shadow of the Vampire. It's supposed to be excellent. Yeah, that's what people highly recommend it, I think. Daryl, here you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Data analyzing robot youth life form.
Steve, you're my mate, right? You're my mate. You bastard. Right, but
he knows his stuff.
It's easy when you've got Google, you cheap bastard. Right, I haven't got Google when I'm here, so up yours. Right, on with the show.
Muckman says, "I bumped into the rate my takeaway guy once, Steve." Yeah, we talk about takeaways. Yeah.
Have I made you laugh with that? Get on with
it. Tony says, "Steve, I have those 2 Sweeney films. Saw the remake with Ray Winston on TV. Just couldn't get into it. A pale imitation of the original." Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah. Muckman movies. It's great. William Dafoe is
Willem, not William.
Right.
Bloody hell. Willem Dafoe.
Willem. Hey, Willem. He says, "Yeah, the remake is awful one of Ray Winston's worst films." The Andromeda Strain is a good film.
That's a class film. Bob Wise did a fantastic job in that.
Oh, it's Robert Wise, yeah. What a director!
One of my fave films, that is Andromeda Strain.
Yeah. You can get a really nice 4K edition of Daryl from Vinegar Syndrome. Oh,
Yeah,
if you've got
about 90 quid to have the import duty, yeah.
Yeah, they're expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, I really love Vinegar Syndrome and their cheap bloody postage and packaging.
Tell you what, speaking of radio, watch their release of Scream and Scream Again. Yeah, I've got that one. And enjoyable, but it couldn't seem to make up its mind whether it was sci-fi, slasher, or espionage. And the 3-minute appearance of Peter Cushing was a bit farcical. I agree totally what you said there. It's
Scream and Scream Again. I like Scream and Scream Again.
I do like it, but it's if you're a Peter Cushing fan, you're thinking, oh dear. And of course, it's got Vincent Price there, so people are expecting Peter Cushing and Vincent Price together, and it doesn't happen, does it? Really?
Oh, shall I tell you? Because of everybody who inspired me in this chat province, I went and bought that 7 Golden Vampires thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just thought I'd let you know. You all inspired me to go and get it because I kept saying it was shit. And you were going, oh, it's my guilty pleasure, and everybody was ganging up on me. I thought, well, I'll go and get it then.
And it's brilliant, isn't it?
Don't know, it arrived yet. I've told you, I've ordered it.
It's a brilliant film. I can't wait for you to watch it. See what
I've seen it on telly, but it's just you lot kept saying I had to get it and have it and all that.
Yeah, well, you have to, you definitely have to get it.
Oh, the other thing I found out, I watched this week my second Dr. Phibes movie.
Oh yeah,
and it's damaged.
What? Oh no.
Yeah, and you can't get it anymore. The 2-disc. Well, you can. I think it costs a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
so,
you know.
I'm gonna buy that again. I'm gonna save up and buy that again.
Yeah, I've got it, but I haven't watched it. I should watch that one. I
bought the 2-disc version that came out, and I think it was. I don't think it was Scream Factory or Arrow or somebody. And I just went. I watched the first one, and I thought, yeah, I'm in the mood to watch the second one now. And the second one, I think, has got Caroline Munro in it. Anyway, I put it in. I put it in. Bloody hell! Did it not? It skipped and all sorts of shit.
Oh no! Yeah.
I've got a disc cleaner, and it still wouldn't help. So,
have you? I meant to ask you that. Do those disc cleaners work?
Well, the disc cleaner that I've got it's an X one from a computer store, that used to clean CDs for stuff. It wasn't from Kex or anything. They're not great because they use cleaning material where it can actually take a layer of plastic away.
Yeah.
I find it best that if you're going to clean them at all, just do it manually.
Yeah.
As long as you get some 99.9% ibuprofen, alcohol,
yeah,
and you use a microfiber cloth.
Yeah.
The trouble is because ionized water can dry really quite quickly. You just need to be careful not to let it dry because it can leave ionized water behind and little spots and all sorts of shit. But to be quite honest, CDs are made of plastic, so
Do you know I've got a Sony Blu-ray player that does 4K as well. But
Sony? It's not
Sony. It's not
Sony.
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 I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, because sometimes it decides to get stuck on things that I know are all right. So I'll put a 4K on, and I know it plays all right because on Panasonic it plays well. You put it on there, and it says, right, I'm not playing it now. I'm stuck. and it sticks. The bloody thing. And then
Obstinate.
there's another one. I've got the control, and it decides I'm not going to take no notice of those controls.
Shall I tell you what it? Shall I tell you what it is? This is no word of a lie, right?
Yeah.
It was made right in London, and then it got on the train to Leeds and went, I'm gonna sulk.
No.
I was designed to be in a London house, and I've been shifted up to this northern bastard place. I'm gonna sulk.
Well, it bloody does. And what I have to do is then it won't switch off on the control. I have to go there and unplug it. You have to unplug it and then put it back on, and then bloody thing.
I'll tell you what, it sounds.
I am not getting any more of their stuff. When that goes, I am not replacing it with that. When Panasonic, beautiful.
I must admit, it does sound like you've got bad capacitors in it, but I will say this: you're not the first person that's complained about Sony 4K.
Really? Ah.
I mean, I've loved my Panasonic 4K.
Yeah. I know you've got the top grade, and I've never had any problems with Panasonic. They seem pretty good.
Well, it's just that I was told after Sony made their last Trinitron, which was a which was a proper great big massive heavy telly, right?
Yeah.
All of their LCDs are basically Sony electronics with LG panels.
Oh. So
when you buy a Sony telly, you're not really buying a Sony. You're buying part LG, part Samsung. You know, with the fascia, you know, the bezel and the electronics made by Sony. Yeah. So really, to be quite honest, it's like saying I'm buying a Volvo, but it's got a Ford engine in it.
Yeah.
So you in other words, there is no such thing as a pure Sony telly anymore.
Yeah, but this is the machine.
Panasonic. When you buy a Panasonic screen, they don't buy their panels from LG. They don't buy their panels from Samsung. They make their own panels.
Yeah.
At Sony to cut down costs.
Yeah.
Panels,
I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend them at all. In fact, I get really cross with it. Sometimes I'm saying, "Bloody thing!"
You bastard! You southern bastard! Player, you southern shifty git!
Yeah, it must be southern shit because you put a Blu-ray in and it decides, right, I'm stopping now. I'm stopping. I'm not playing any more of it. And then you're bloody going mad with it, and you can't even rewind it back or push it forward. You have to unplug the bloody thing, put it back in, and then of course it says, "Oh, I'll play now," and it plays it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me
I won't
wrong.
recommend them at all.
I mean, there are people that have had problems with 4K Panasonic players. The biggest problem that I think a person had with their 4K player was it wouldn't eject.
Oh, I've never heard that one.
Or there's a proper problem with one of the cogs. They've all got plastic cogs in them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And you can always get one that's got bad manufacturing.
Yeah.
But when you get one of these bad ones, when it freezes, the cog doesn't work for it to eject, so it's actually trapped, and you have to press, you have to stick a compass or something at the underside to pull the disc out and stuff.
Yeah.
Because nothing is infallible. I'm just saying that I've been lucky. I've never had a problem with Panasonic.
Yeah, I noticed.
I'm not gonna ever big up Panasonic enough to say, "Hey, look, you'll never get a bad one," because you will.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, sometimes like I have happened with a 4K disc. I put a 4K disc in and it stops, but then if I just rewind it back, I put it forward, play it in, and it'll play in the same spot. It's like it does it once, and then it's all right after that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's bound sure to be a laser or a software thing or something.
Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend them, definitely. When it goes,
well, for the money, you might as well buy an LG and a Samsung.
I will. I've got two.
When
Yeah,
that
I've got
goes, go and get
Panasonic.
another one because they're
Yeah,
that cheap.
I don't know why on earth I got that Sony one. But I thought I'll have a backup to other
No,
one.
it's because of the name. The Sony used to be such a great name for
Yeah,
quality, but it's not
yeah.
anymore. Oh, I
No,
wouldn't trust anything.
no. I'm definitely. When I get my replacement, I'm
Take it,
definitely not
take
getting
it,
that.
take it like this. Just do a search on YouTube for PlayStation 5 repairs, right?
Oh,
And then tell me how many Sony bloody PlayStations have broken down with people trying to
really?
get them
They're bad,
fixed.
are they? Oh God.
Right? I'm just
Yeah,
saying. I mean,
yeah.
it's the number one or number two console out there in the world, and I tell you what, most people are returning them to people to be fixed or something because it's always
Wow.
got the same problems. It's always
Yeah.
the laser disc that's in it, or the capacitor's got in it, or
Right.
something. So I mean, if they
Yeah.
were that good, you wouldn't have that many Sonys, would you, to be fixed?
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, PlayStation 5s.
I
So
know. Yeah. A warning to everybody: don't get one. Don't get anything connected with them. I'm sure they have got people who do enjoy
yeah.
them,
You know,
but it's
there's
just
always
being
people that'll have a
unlucky.
bad. There's always somebody that'll have a bad one and then slag them off left, right, and centre. And most of them come from Leeds,
Yeah.
right? But you know, obviously, you know, there are some bad ones out there. You know what I mean? What can I say?
um, Mukman movies. I've been mainly picking up the Asian stuff from Radiance, so I didn't pick that one up, Tony. Oh yeah, you're into your Asian stuff. Radiance again. The original Nosferatu has lots of different coloured filters. It was their way to add colour to their films. Ah, it's interesting.
What I bloody said.
Yeah.
Only you didn't believe me. Of course,
No,
Muckman Movies says it, and
you're a
Muckman Movies
fountain of
says it, and
wisdom sometimes.
it must be the truth because Muckman said it. Dan said it, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
David GPS
Yeah.
says, hi, Ian and Dell. How are you guys? Well, Reek Grand and he's here. Have you noticed?
Yeah, have you noticed? He's here.
He's here. Sue says, I just pre-ordered Ticks starring Clint Howard, one of my favourite movies. I have heard of that word of Ticks, but I've not seen it.
I ain't seen it.
No. It sounds like a good sort of creature feature. Just watched Joker 2. Oh my, it was utter garbage. Awful. Yeah. Nobody comes on and says a masterpiece or anything, I've noticed. Nobody has said that.
I don't know. Don't say that in front of Jamie, because I'll tell you what, Jamie, who's on Play
Oh
10
yeah,
chat,
I know. Yeah, he'll say
the
it's a
Batman, they call him.
masterpiece.
He thinks it's a masterpiece. He does, I tell you.
Dear.
You know, and Josh from Through the Lens goes, I don't know what film you saw, but I went and saw it. What a bag of shit that was.
Yeah, to be honest, I've not seen it, so I shouldn't make.
Yeah, and I just turn around and say, look, it's each to their own.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a musical, I'm pretty sure you'll love it.
Mm.
The ending has got some weird shit going on that people have got a problem with, but
yeah. Jamie, it's an Amicus production. It's basically about building superhumans from body parts, but most of the film is taken up with a hunt for a killer. Really good extended. Oh, that's the Scream and Scream again. Yeah, extended car chase. Yeah. Mukman movies. Ticks is good fun. Oh, that's good. Mukman movies. I have the VS release.
Yeah, he means US.
Oh, right.
He has the Versus release. What the version is that? I mean, are you so cheap you can't put A at the end for USA? You got the American release. You know, you tight bastard that you can't even put USA. You can tell he's northern. You've got to have one letter missing. You know what I mean?
It's released by Screen Movies on the 25th of November. Yeah. And question to both of you.
Oh, bloody hell.
Which film has been your favourite watch so far this year? Doesn't have to be a 2024 release.
Easy. Substance.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a 20. Well, I'll tell you what my favourite has been is, and nobody else does, but I think I enjoyed Maxine so much. I love Maxine, and that's been my favourite film of the year. Even though you said it doesn't have to be a 2024 release, I absolutely love it. That I've watched this. I was just because everybody had been so negative about it and saying it's not quite as good as this, and I just fell in love with it. That's my film. But Substance, I really would love to see that. Definitely, everybody's had positive things. It sounds like my kind of film as well. I think.
I think you'll really like Substance.
Yeah. It's got a bit of body horror. It's a Cronenberg, his son. What's not to like? Already have the Vinegar Syndrome release, Steve. My favorite Richard Gere film is Mothman Prophecies. Bloody love that film.
Bloody love it.
I've seen that a lot around, but I've never watched it. You know, it's sort of things. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's Richard Gere that kind of put me off watching it.
Again, he's another character, you know, an actor that I just go.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It's just
that Officer and the Gentleman pissed me off when it came out.
Probably has a lot to do with it. And Pretty Woman, and Officer and a Gentleman, probably.
He's got the charisma of a brick.
You have to say that properly. Yeah. Talking of Clint Howard, he puts in a cameo in Terrifier 3. Oh,
you know, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and you know my opinion on Terrifier 3. Yeah. And I've not seen it, but I've seen the other two. And
we both. Jesus.
That was more than enough. Overrated. Totally overrated. Primal Fear was a good Richard Gere movie. All right. The Richard Gere fan club is out.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah, it's just us. We're a couple of old buggers and
old buggers.
Old gits.
Yeah, we're all resentful because we don't look good in sailor outfits.
Andromeda Strain is on my watch pile too. Oh yeah. I'm sure you'll.
It's a brilliant film, Andromeda Strain.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm trying something out during Barnes and Noble's 50% off Criterion sale in the US. They don't deliver to the UK, so just ask Donald to bring them personally.
No, they don't deliver to UK, so I'm using a company called. What's it called?
It's Barnes and Noble. It's a shop. All American YouTube channels talk.
No, you got to go down one from Tony York to get to
it. Sorry. Yeah, I just moved down. Yeah, I'm using a company called Delivery. Deliver my order to me. I've sent my order to them free from B&N. From Barnes and Noble, but then I'll have to pay for the shipping from Stackery. Oh, it sounds a bit complicated.
I'll just give you my order then, Muckman, and you can order it for me.
Yeah,
I ain't going for all that shit.
It sounds a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that Barnes and Noble and all those YouTube videos from America. So, he's saying about you asked Donald to bring them personally. Yeah. Tony, Steve Mills, I was going to get that release of Trick or Treat, but they don't deliver to the UK. Plus, it's sold out.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I've had a similar problem with my 4K player, Ian. It's a Panasonic, and I've had a standard Blu-rays freezing it. I have an LG Blu-ray player, not 4K, so I only use the Panasonic for 4K discs. Yeah, it's making me wonder what to get.
Like I
I
said,
need another
I'm
player.
not. I'm not surprised. I'm turning around and saying, look, there isn't one player out there, I think, that hasn't had a fault, because you can't turn around and have 100% guaranteed
Yeah,
device. You know that everybody is. You know, can turn around and say, I've never had one fault with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
All I'm saying is, I think that when it comes to the Panasonics, they're quite high production values, but you'll always get one.
yeah,
I've just noticed that the biggest complaint I've had with Panasonics that I've seen on YouTube is people turning around and saying that they couldn't eject the discs or something.
all right. I've not had any
But
problem on that.
I don't think there's too many problems with playback ever. You know,
Yeah,
but I could be wrong with that. But I know that people are always talking about freezing in Sony's. Bloody hell!
yeah. I'm definitely
Oh,
thinking of getting a LG one next. I think
I would do.
definitely.
They're not too bad. LG.
Yeah, and what I might do is not because it's just get a Blu-ray player. Maybe just get a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. Like I
Because I
say,
got
just get
yeah.
LG. It stands for Leeds Graphics or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
um, Steve says, "Have any of you done a pre-order?" Here we are, Captain Kronos.
Yes, done it.
I thought it was going to be released either this month or December, but it's not released until the end of January next year.
Yep.
Yeah,
And what did I say? I said it'd probably be 49 or 59.99.
you did.
Probably
Yeah,
59.99, and it ended up being 49.99. So,
yeah, yeah. So it's not too bad. It could
but
be.
this is what I tend to find whenever something goes up for pre-order. There always seems to be a 3-month lead.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Where you know, if something is announced, it always seems to be, oh, and in 3 months' time you can have it. Apart from really things like Blazing Saddles and North by Northeast and all of that sort of thing. Because
yeah,
I tell you what, I ordered that last Christmas.
yeah, yeah,
Bloody hell. Longest wait for a Hitchcock film I've ever had.
yeah.
Bastards.
Ted says, I have a foreign Blu-ray of Kronos. Won't be getting the 4K. I saw the price was £50, which isn't bad at all, really, for 2 4K and 3 Blu-ray discs, plus all the other extras. I
Yeah.
suppose you're right there, yeah.
Oh, I said it's got 5 discs in
Yeah.
it, plus all the
Yeah.
extras, and it's 50 quid. Now,
Yeah.
that means each of the discs is a tenner, but if you give the extras and everything, and plus the hardcover box, it's probably they come close to probably 7 quid or 8 quid each.
A good repair for it, Ian. The biggest hammer you can find. Yeah. Yeah, that might be a good repair. Sonny. Oh. Del's so narky tonight. Must be the meds wearing off. Ooh. I'm saying
he loves me, really.
Vinegar syndrome, you numpty. VS.
Yeah, but did you notice that? Look, he's so tight he can't write vinegar syndrome. He has to put VS. Oh, I'm going to VS and I'm getting this. What do you put? I bought this from Vinegar Syndrome, you tight bastard. You got to put what it is. You know, VS, that could be verses. It could be, you know, what the bloody are you talking about? Vinegar Syndrome, right? There you go, right.
Yeah. He says, movies. I concur with Del. They always agree with you. The substance is great. So there you are.
I take it all back. You're all right
After
again.
all what he said about you, Bloody hell.
I'll take it all back. You're all right again.
Steve says, I watched the split second starring Rutger Hauer on Halloween. Good movie. Plus, you get a Japanese cut on the Blu-ray. Oh, right. So, Andy makes Star Wars. No spoilers on Terrifier 3.
Nah, you won't get any from us.
Yeah, well, no.
Neither of us have seen it.
Well,
You're
no.
going to get that, are you? Yeah.
Tony says, anybody heard of the Desert of the Tartars, 1976? Watched it this week and was pleasantly surprised for a film in which very little happens. It's very enjoyable and it's set in Eastern Europe.
Eastern Leeds. Is that where it's set?
Oh, gosh. It's set.
That Eastern Leeds is one of the places where very little happens.
God. Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. What can I say? So, no happens, but it's exciting. Yeah. Well, good. To be honest, Terrifier far from overrated. It does what it does on a minimum budget. Either like it or not. The first two really had zero storyline, but they were supposed to. Have we continued on that?
Oh, yeah, saying it had a story is saying that you're on drugs when you watched it. Because
there was no story.
The first two's got no story whatsoever.
I just thought it was a bit. I don't like saying this word, but boring. It was a bit boring, really. And oh, let's show some more special effects. Here you are. Look, we'll cut another leg off, or we'll cut this off and see who can produce the best. Oh, won't bother about the story. Oh, look, Art the Cow's been very funny. Oh, look, he's moving about doing a silly dance. Oh, isn't that funny? Wow, hilarious. Let's swing an arm around. Oh, yeah, wow. Yeah. And I watched.
Let me come up from underneath this car and stab you in the leg and have blood gushing out everywhere, like some sort of pressure cooker or something. Spray everywhere.
Oh wow! I watched Desert Fiends shown in AK Cool Duda off YouTube. Not a bad indie film and good for a laugh. Right. Continue. In the early 20th century, a young army officer is posted to a frontier fort. They continually waiting for attack from the Tartars. Of the title.
It's very enjoyable. It's set in Eastern Europe in the early 20th century. A young army officer. Yeah.
There you are. It's not a sauce. Yeah.
It's not tartar sauce. No.
That's right. I've got you. Yeah.
It's not an abbreviation for tits. No.
Why the excitement for Captain Kronos? I've never heard of it. Well, you should. You need to look at your hammer. Look at your hammer stuff.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it, and it was never really appreciated an awful lot. But I mean, it's all right.
I was surprised.
It's like the flashing blade with vampires.
I was surprised it was their first release. It's like saying, oh, we'll put this out, even though we've got an absolutely brilliant catalogue of films. It seems I was a bit disappointed to see that, to be honest. It's not the best. I don't think it is the best at all.
I think it's a proof of concept.
But I certainly prefer the more, Christopher Lee.
But look, think of it like this, right? Think of it like this. If you were to do Dracula, right, everybody in the world would buy it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the world would buy it.
Yeah.
You put the very first Hammer 4K film out as Kronos, a film that is not exactly well received. everybody in the world is going to buy it regardless because it's the first film out by
Of
Hammers
course.
or
Well, whatever
Geisler.
they release.
So they're going to get a
Yeah.
shitload of cash for a film that's not particularly great, and then they can actually get to the good stuff.
Yeah, and make people wait. Take
Because
ages.
the one thing that's not going to happen is that's not going to sell. Of course, it's going to sell.
Of course, it's the first release. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven says, among my movies, it's a very good Hammer vampire movie.
It's an average, not bad vampire movie.
Yeah.
Jamie, I'll tell you what, it's no worse and no better than Vampire Circus.
Oh, I think Vampire Circus is better.
Yeah, that's why I just said it's no worse and and you know than Vampire. Vampire Circus was on Legend the other night. I keep watching it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Great film. Kronos is it's Flashing Blade with I can't say it enough. It's Flashing Blade with vampires.
Yeah.
It's a bloke with a sword, you know, like a rapier, you know, going around killing vampires.
Yeah. And it's not like Countess Dracula. What fantastic film that is.
Was it Hammer or Amicus or Tiger?
No, it's Hammer.
No, hang on. You didn't let me finish. That did that famous vampire killers film. The famous vampire.
Oh,
what was it?
No, that's not Hammer.
No, who was it? That's what I just said. Who is it?
Yeah.
Who was it? Hammer, Amicus, Tigus. Who was it that did that? It was a foreign film, wasn't it? That was dubbed in English, wasn't it?
In the vampire killers,
you know,
it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy. Comedy horror.
With the director in it, we don't talk about. What's his name?
I'm just asking because it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Polanski. That's it.
Yeah.
Polanski's in that. Yeah, it's a comedy. It's not. Do you know? I don't know whether it is Amicus. I don't know.
I just wanted to know. I was interested to know what it was because I haven't seen that film in a long time.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. And then we've got hello. Hi guys, watching from the Philippines. Yeah, Reek Grand, thank you for coming in and seeing me. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, Trump loves you guys. According to their rally.
Mook was VS rant. Oh, here we are again. Vinegar syndrome. Yeah. I can't. Yeah.
I don't believe him. It's a trap.
No, dear.
He only says that to trap you into you being his friend.
Sai says, have any of you seen Strange Darling? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's my second favorite film of the year, just behind The Substance. A lot of people keep bringing that film up.
Yeah, Strange Darling.
I'm looking forward to have a look at that. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard Strange Darling is very good. It's gone on my watch list. I think it's gone on a lot of people's watch lists. Yeah. Steve, has anyone seen Duchess and Azrael, Angel of Death? No, I've not seen
That's
that.
one for you to put down on your list. Look, it's got Azrael, Angel of Death in it. Duchess, it's got Duchess in it. That means it must be something in the past. Oh, I'll have to watch that. Ian puts it down. Look, Duchess, look. Has it got Alexandra in it from Russia in the 18th century? I'm gonna watch it now. Look.
Oh dear. So, final watch of the week: a Sophie Loren comedy, The Priest's Wife, 1976. She courts a Catholic priest, and they end up planning to marry by getting special permission from the Pope. Ending is sad. Oh,
yeah, isn't it? I've seen quite a lot of Sophia Loren films
Sounds
actually
good.
just recently.
That, yeah. Cy Robson, McMahon movies. Do you need to watch it? It's a really well put together film. The story is told in a non-linear format. Oh, right.
I tell you what, Tony, though, you know, obviously the Betty Davis film that that Ian watched is got one of the saddest endings, isn't it? Hasn't it?
Yes.
The one that you reviewed last week.
Dark Victory.
Yeah. I think the last 20 minutes of that film is like, oh my God. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm just going to go outside and plant some crops. Oh, the sun's going in. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
Yes. Anyone seen Guillermo del Toro Kronos? It's an excellent vampire film. No, that's an Italian one, I would imagine, but I've not seen it. No.
Yeah, what's that accent all about? Do it in your proper Leeds accent.
Okay,
Hey, my
okay.
Hey, my have you ever watched Del Toro's Kronos?
Well, I'm just adding
What's this? What's this? Del Toro's Kronos.
What's all that shit? A bit of credibility to
What's all that shit? You're from Leeds, man.
Have you noticed Italians always go like that with their hands? I don't know why.
Yeah, but you had Italian
suddenly come out. Yeah.
The closest you've been to Italy is Iceland for a pizza.
I have been to Italy. Yeah, I have. Actually,
for a Chicago town pizza. That's the closest you've been to Italy. Jesus Christ.
Oh dear.
I'm just going to Italy, love. I'm buying a pizza. Back in 5 minutes.
Oh dear. My man says I'm not paying 50 quid if it's an average vampire flick. Oh, there you are. That's it.
You might like it, Muckman movies. How do you know it's average unless you've seen it?
I watched Trap with Josh Hartnett. Didn't like it if they hyped it up on the trailer. What I didn't understand, the police and SWAT teams don't know what the killer, aka the butcher, looks like. I
don't know what our butcher looks like. He hides behind the counter every time I go in and ask for some sausages. I'm sure he knows where I come from. He just hides behind the counter. He goes, I ain't serving that bastard.
Has he got any special sausages for you then?
He serves them with that. He puts the apple cider shit in it. I just want some Richmond. I keep telling him, I said, look, I would just want some Richmond pork. I don't want this shit with breadcrumb and apple cider and shit in it. I just want some sausages. Jesus, how's it hard is it now to get some sausages, some basic sausages these days? Have to have some shit in it, don't you? That puts you off.
Now, do you remember what's in those sausages? If you go to Royston Vale, is it?
If you've ever looked inside of you know
sausages.
Yeah, you do know in sausages it's all like bloody offal and bloody bone and all sorts of shit in sausages.
Royston Vasey, that's it. I've got it wrong. Royston Vasey, yeah. Fearless Vampire Killers is by Roman Polanski. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got it.
Ian got it before he got to my comment. Yeah.
That isn't too hard. The length of time he takes to read comments, is it?
But all through the film,
flipping Bill and Ben, who ain't learned to read yet, can get through comments faster than Ian can. Jesus Christ, they've been learning since the 50s.
But all through the film, Josh Hartnett shits himself all through the film. Why?
All himself?
They had to go was he has a tattoo on his wrist when he covers with a band. I get what you're saying there. I do get that bit. Yeah. And Trap Taylor didn't interest me, so not fussed about seeing it. All right, there you are, lad. M. Night Shyamalan's daughter got on my nerves with her bad singing in Trap. Yeah, a lot of people were not too pleased with her acting. It wasn't just the singing.
M.
She
Night
actually had
Shalabala
to
Bing Bong.
But it's still an enjoyable film. But you're right. Guillermo del Toro is a Mexican director.
He's
He
a
did Pan's
Mexican.
Labyrinth,
He's a
Devil's
Mexican.
Backbone, and
He's a
Crystal Blade
Mexican
films
chef.
as well as grown up.
He's a Mexican chef who makes tacos. That's who Guillermo del Toro is.
Well, you're getting educated, lad. Del Toro. Mexican.
He makes tacos down the old
I don't
market.
like tacos. Oh,
that's what he does.
Not for me. No, I don't like Mexican food. Oh, awful. Delboy sounds like Arkwright when he does the Yorkshire accent. Oh, dear, Arkwright, there you are.
It's a thing. I've never done everything I've done, Geldo. Bloody.
And we got Tony Hawk saying, speaking of Del Toro's, anyone seen Benicio del Toro's Wolfman? Is it any good? Was thinking of getting it.
It's not brilliant.
Oh, right.
It's all right. It's not brilliant. I mean, there's better werewolf films out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see? I only just saw it. It just came up today that in January there's a werewolf film coming out called, interestingly enough, Wolfman. I don't know any more about it, but I just saw that come up in January. I thought an original title. Oh, let's see how can we be original? Yeah. Oh, let's call it Wolfman. Yes.
Yeah.
No, but apparently that's how I saw. So I suppose we'll get a bit more information.
Must have got all the Oxford University graduates to come up with that title.
Yeah, it must have. Call it? Let's get a really, hit title.
We'll put out a survey. Here we go. See what comes up. And it was. Shall I tell you what the second one was? It was Wolfman Boaty McBoatface. That was the second idea for a title.
So, what's your opinion then? Is that Tony? It's not any good. Then this film, he's thinking of getting it.
No. It's just that I mean, seriously, is there any film that's better than American Werewolf in London? Really?
Well, no, you're not going to get that. Right. But forget about that.
It's what can I say? It's not a bad film. It's not brilliant.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Yeah, it's not a terrible film.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Have you ever seen a Del Toro film? Do you know what his style of films are? Well,
no, I've not seen. I've heard of his name, but I can't think of any films I've seen.
Yeah, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Ginger Snaps than that.
Yeah. Are special effects quite cheap? And
no. They were all right.
Yeah.
It's like watching Hellboy.
And then it's not as bad as the reviews say, Tony. Oh yeah, I think that's Trap. Is it? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
They'll try turkey sausages, good healthy meat. But turkey sausages, didn't that?
We're heading for Christmas, and you're telling me that I got to eat turkey sausages. You got a fucking another thing coming. There'll be turkeys coming out my arse by Christmas. We'll have that much bloody shit of turkeys. You don't think I'm really going to start eating turkeys before Christmas as well? No, it'll be Richmond pork sausages. Thank you very much.
It's got to be. Yeah, I agree. You've got to have Powick.
Honestly, somebody on YouTube, right, ordered a tin of baked beans, right, with pigs in blankets in them, right? And pigs in blankets in baked beans. I don't even like them little pork sausages that they put in the baked beans. It makes the beans taste weird. right? Now they're putting pigs in blankets in them.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
Just
I
have
like the
baked
podcast,
beans for
yeah.
sake. Order pigs in blankets separately, and then put the beans over them. Right? Have you ever thought of that? That might be a magical idea.
There you are. Cooking with Del.
Hey,
Actually, we ought to have a spot every week. Cooking tips. Delboy's cooking tips.
Yeah,
And
next
there you
week,
are. You've
Jacob's
had
cream
one.
next week, Jacob's cream crackers with cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Cooked well. How to cook a salad in the microwave. Yeah. Del.
Oh dear. Let's have a look. Royston Vasey is the real name of Roy Chubby Brown. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know they
I have to say we're getting close to 11 o'clock. So
yeah, we're not too far off that. Let's move through pretty green. Jamie, I like the look of it after seeing a trailer. McMahon, it's not great, but it's not bad either. There's some nice cinematography in it, Tony.
There is, yeah.
Sai says Wolfman is a Blue Mouse production. I'm guessing that they've tried to create a new monsterverse as they did the Invisible Man a few years ago. Oh yeah. Howl, yes, is an entertaining. Well,
I want to see that.
Yeah, I've seen it listed a lot. It's a British film as well.
I want to see Howl.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'd like definitely check that one out. I know it's a British film as well. Sounds to be worth a watch. Wolfen is a good film. I've heard of the mentioned, but I haven't seen it. Silver Bullet, yeah, underrated.
Who hasn't seen Silver Bullet though?
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah. Well, there aren't that many. That's one that you choose. And Bad Moon. All right. And we're getting it end now for you, Delboy. Tony says, I watched that beans and pig in blankets taste test, Del.
Yeah, honestly, it was on YouTube, right? This guy, he says, I bought this tin of beans with pigs in blankets in. I'm going to put them in this. I'm going to put them in this. This was how inspirational it was. I'm going to put them in this saucepan, and I'm going to cook them, right? Then I'm going to pour them out onto a plate, and you're going to watch me eat them, and I'll give you my review of it.
Oh.
How bloody hell! How desperate are you to do a YouTube
to get a views? Yeah,
right. Then to get a Sainsbury's, order a tin of baked beans with pork sausages in them, and then get them out and give you his honest review of it. And he turned around and he said they weren't very nice.
Yeah,
I could have told you that 10 minutes ago without me watching this shit.
I love these taste tests where it's just an excuse to do a video. So I think, I'll tell you what, you can have me watching me eating me lunch. Oh, look, here's a piece of toast. That's nice.
Next week, Delboy goes to Greg's and buys a sausage roll and eats it for girls and boys.
But it's a taste test.
I hope you tune in, because then next week he's going to eat a sausage and bean melt from Greg's, and he wants to know whether you're like that as well. Bollocks! Who wants this shit? Who watches this crap?
It's absolute bollocks.
Delboy goes to Iceland and buys a 99p pizza and then cooks it.
Goes,
what do you think? Crying out loud.
People will do a video on anything. Believe you me. They think, yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to go to Iceland. I'm going to microwave an Arctic roll and see if it tastes nice. Honestly, what a bag of shit.
I know. It's embarrassing, isn't it?
It's just like any old thing, is it? Look, Coke's brought out a new lemon flavored Coke. we're going to try it next week.
Let's try it.
We hope you tune in 5 o'clock Tuesday. And by the way, join my Patreon and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
that's
blah,
right.
blah, blah, blah.
I know, and you see him drinking it in the car or something. I've just bought.
I need you to join my Patreon so that I can have 50 pence to buy the next tin of beans that I can sell, that I can bloody put up on YouTube.
It's a rip-off. Oh dear. Those
I wanted
videos.
him to pay me 50 pence for watching it.
It's true. Exactly. Seymour says cheese, beans, and bacon on toast. Tasty. That's it. We can do a taste test. Cheese, beans, and sausage pasties from Greg's. Oh yeah. Food for the gods. Oh yeah. Greg's does a lot of nice things. And then we've got Festive Bakes are back. Are they at Greg's now? Yeah. I'd watch Delboy taste test oxtail soup. I remembered.
I might do that at the end of one of my blogs and say, look, I've got oxtail soup here. Look, for Muckman. Just for Muckman. Look. Oh, yeah, look at that. I could really taste the carrots in that. That was gorgeous. Yeah, brilliant.
You can do it. Mind you, this is my lunch. I'm just having my lunch.
Yeah. The oxtail was a bit rank. I reckon there was shit in part of it.
And then, of course, you can get a variation. You could say, oh, this is Sainsbury's oxtail soup. I better try it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I had to rough it that week. I bought Sainsbury's with oxtail.
I generally don't understand food taste reviews on YouTube. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Look, because I tell you what, right? I tell you what, Si, I watched this program the other day, right? Man vs Foods, and it didn't have vinegar syndrome in it once. It was man versus foods. What's this VS vinegar syndrome shit? It was versus, right? Man versus food, not vinegar syndrome food. What's all that about?
Oh dear. My favorite is a pot noodle with a bit of mashed potato poured into it. Mashed potato? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you want to buy frozen. You want to put frozen mash in it.
Yeah.
And make that up, yeah.
If I hear that word Patreon, you go, please, no, not that word Patreon. No. Yes. What? Oh. Episode 7 of The Penguin was another surprisingly brilliant episode for me on Prime TV. Can't wait for the last episode on Monday. The acting, the script, 100%. Everybody has said that about it.
Honestly, Penguin is all right. The last 2 episodes, though, they have been a bit samey.
Yeah.
As much as they're still brilliant, the last 2 have been a bit formulatic. Sorry, they have been formula. I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm talking about. There hasn't been one of the characters going into the Arkham Asylum and then spending time in there, and then she gets out and does revenge or anything. They've been what's all about this drug and all that sort of stuff. It's all been about that. So it's been a bit formulatic, but it's been good.
Right.
Been good.
Tony says one channel had a debate on whether pot noodle is a main meal or a snack. They decided it was a snack. Wow. What a YouTube channel that was.
Our lives are so sad that we're talking about pot noodle YouTube channels.
But you could amazing what people will do for views. People will do anything for views.
Quick, we got to get through these comments, otherwise we're going to be in about midnight.
Yeah. ADR.
Another 3 letters. I haven't got a fucking clue you're talking about.
I don't know what it means. My favorite sandwich now is, brace yourself, peas pudding and tomato ketchup sandwich. Oh, What can I say?
Peas pudding. Yeah, it's it's almost as disgusting as a condensed milk sandwich that Lenny Henry had in the 70s. Tis was.
Yeah. I'm boring. I'd rather have a nice cheese
Oh,
sandwich.
Diallo, Angry Del Rants. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I like it. Angry Del. Brilliant. Yeah. Oh, Jim Jones back. All right, lads. Hello.
You know what I call it? I call it the voice of reason.
Are you a pot noodle man or a?
No, I'm not. What
have you? I don't mind pot noodles. They're all right.
Pot noodle. I'll tell you what. Pot noodles is probably better if you don't put the hot water in.
Yeah. Oh dear. No, I don't mind them. Pot noodle sandwich, yummy. Perhaps I could try that. Del wants to go to bed, Jim Jones.
Oh, no.
Start with your question.
I'll tell you what it is, man. I did say to Ian, I said, look, I don't mind you carrying on. It's just that I think I might have to go at 11 because I've been a bit tired and I had my operation yesterday. And he said, no, we do this together. So I went, okay. But it was really nice of him. Ian's one of those guys that's really just so supportive of me. I mean, he even says, no, I'll do it with you. And then when we go, we do it. We go away together. That means an awful lot to me when he does that. So
thank you.
I mean, he's a bastard every other day. Yeah. But
let's get the last comments then. Tony says, evening, James. And does anyone remember Polony in a large roll? Oh, I do. I like Polony. Yeah. I don't know whether you'd like Polony. It's kind of a sausage sort of flavour.
Is that polos in a
Polony?
Roll?
It's Polony, not
polos. Is that polos in a roll?
No, not polo mints in a roll. Oh God!
I don't know.
We might start that off. I used to eat polony on its own. Yeah, I did actually. My mum said, "Hey, do you want to try this?" And I'd try it. I thought, "Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad at all." I don't know how people can eat pot noodles. I tried one, and the amount of salt in it was dreadful. Couldn't finish it, and I've not had one since. Oh, well, there you are.
Shock, surprise. Another thing Steve don't like.
Yes, Steve.
I mean, I'm having a guess on what he does like, but there's another thing he don't like. He knows I'm taking the piss now because
oh dear. And then we've got here saying, "Muck my movies, get to bed, Del." There you are.
Yeah, but I don't like my bed either. Go on.
99 guys. By side, thank you for joining us this week. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, I'm just waiting for you to comment and say what game you want me to play next, you bastard.
Used to have pot noodles, not had one in many years. Oh, they're still all right actually. But night, chaps. Pleasure as always. Night, Jamie.
You've all been wonderful, and you've listened to my ranting all night.
And Tony says, "Good night, all. Thanks, very enjoyable. Thank you, Tony, as ever, for being in here." And Stephen says, "Night, all. Get to sleep, you hairy buggers."
Honestly, everybody tonight has been absolute golden tonight. Absolutely
fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't often feel sort of down, and this has really cheered me up. It really has. It's been fantastic. I've just had not a good day, so I'm really pleased. It's been a great one. I went play Star Fox on the Nintendo.
I'd rather eat a shit sandwich. If you think I'm going to remember that for in 6 weeks' time when I'm going to be actually get round to playing it, you got to leave it in a comment. But Star Fox on the Nintendo, well, it's random. I will say that for you. It's random. Really? I haven't played that game in 25 years. I think. I mean, I would.
Right. So, thank you, Delboy.
He's got some little dog shits. Look.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Delboy, for joining us. I've really enjoyed it. There's 12 people watching at the moment, 11 now, but thank you, everybody who was commented and was watching us.
Please subscribe to this guy, even though it's his channel, because I need to get.
Don't forget to subscribe to Delboy. I've put his link. It's there in the channel description.
I was taking the piss. Of course, they subscribed to you. How do you think they saw you here?
Do you know? I feel bad because normally about halfway through, I plug your channel and I forgot.
No, normally 10 minutes from the end, I plug your channel. And there's no plugger here.
Sorry, I totally forgot. But anybody who's still watching who hasn't subscribed, please subscribe to Delboy. Great channel, great blog, fantastic. Love it all. And thank you, everybody. And it's good night from him.
And it's good night from him.
And I'll see thee again.
Salute.